Hey, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. How is everybody doing out there today? Merry Christmas as well, guys. It is Christmas Eve, man. Man, it's come around quick, hasn't it? Apologies for being away the last few days. I've been setting up my setup, which took a lot longer than actually expected. I had to get some USB extenders. Had to get some new HDMI cables. We had to get a bunch of stuff, and it just took much longer than I actually anticipated. The desk itself took a while to put together, actually. So, yeah, but we're back now. And then we'll be off tomorrow because it's Christmas Day. But New Year, right? We're gonna do a New Year's resolution chat, and we are gonna be locking in. Okay, we are gonna be locking in. Content is gonna be back. Streams are going to be back to being daily. Videos will be more regular. Hopefully getting back to a daily upload schedule as well. That's the plan. That's the plan. It's been a bit... This last month has just been sporadic, to say the least. Right, sporadic. We've been all over the place. It's just been one of those things, you know. IRL hasn't allowed for content to come as consistently as I would have liked. The audio might sound a little bit different in here at the minute as well, because I've took the sofa out, which, wildly enough, that really has changed the audio. So, like, the sofa's in the living room at the minute, because obviously I've got a sofa in the office, and I've took it in there because we've got family coming around for Christmas, so we need some extra seats, so I've taken those. So it might sound a little bit... It sounds different to me anyway, you know? I can definitely hear the difference myself, so I don't know if you guys can. Also, I'm sick! It's perfect timing, right? I got the lurgy, man. I got the lurgy, so I've been sneezing like crazy. I'm spluttering, so apologies if I start blasting your eardrums out with coughing and everything. But we've got a few things to talk about. It's not going to be a long stream. I just wanted to get back on, let you know. The Kurobots didn't get us, chat. The Kurobots didn't get us. They tried, but you know what? We're still going to be reacting to 3.0 after it drops. Might even play it as well. We might actually even play it just to see if my concerns were actually warranted, man. We're gonna have a look. We're gonna have a look. We've got a bunch of things to talk about today, though. We've got a bunch of things to talk about today. We've got some Project RX to have a little look at, which I'm curious about. We have actually a video from the developers as well. I think that's I think he's dubbed as well, so we can see what the devs have got to say. There's a little bit of an interview in there, potentially. It looks like Duet Night Abyss 1.1 hasn't gone down as well as the devs would have hoped by the looks of things. It seems to have pissed the community off a little bit, so there's that as well, you know. I'm going to talk about that. We've got an Arknights, a special day commemorative video as well to check out. Also, apparently, we've got the Amir skin here. We've got like a Amir birthday skin. People are like, Amir going to get the skin? I'm like, I don't know, man, because... I can't use that, you know? I can't use it, so do I do it just for the culture? We got the NTE Co X test trailer as well, which I haven't seen. Because I've literally had no PC for like, what, the last 2 or 3 days, because everything has been disconnected. So like, I've just been on the phone, so I haven't really been able to check out too much, to be fair. So, got a bunch of stuff we can have a little look at here today. And we might do some gaming, we might, but I'm not promising anything. I did want to get live earlier, but I still had stuff to do in my office. And Rosie will want to chill a little bit later. You know, it's Christmas Eve, man. I can't be sitting in here and leaving her in the other room on Christmas Eve. So, yeah, it won't be a massively long stream. But I thought, you know what, man, we've got to come and say hello to you guys. But let me get chat up a second here, guys. Where are we? Let me get it up, say hello. Hopefully, everybody's having a great Christmas so far. And you have a good day tomorrow as well. Or, for some people, it might already be Christmas Day, actually. So, Zerat, welcome to the stream. Flix, Ens, Ark, Ducklord, Ken, how's it going, lads? BVN, welcome to the stream. Jules, hello, hello, hello. Who we got here? Blue, welcome to the stream. Hi. Matt, welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the stream, man. What are you guys saying then? Finally trying IS6 right now, and I'm losing my mind for not getting any sniper tickets for my Archero, even if I'm already at FLR4 multiple times. Is he not going to plan, is he? Reacts are full of good stuff. Yeah, we'll have a little look. We'll have a little look. You've got 8 OP and you can't buy the skins. You missed Amir's skin last year. See, like, I'm thinking that. Do I just get it? And then that maybe when we eventually E2, it's there for us, right? It's there for us to start to use, maybe. I feel like we have to do it for the culture, don't we? I feel like we have to do it for the culture. What are we doing anyway, though, guys? I'm loving my new desk. I am loving my new desk. It feels good. I'll have some updated pictures, actually, for you guys to have a little look at, because it's pretty clean, man. It's pretty clean, I must admit. I'm just trying out these USB extenders. I haven't got one for my mouse at the moment, which actually, it's fine, because I don't need one. Because I didn't want to really use one on my mouse in case it added in some latency. But considering mice and keyboards are quite low data, aren't they? So I don't think it'll cause too much issues. I think it's maybe more for like audio and video. You might get issues, yeah. Oh yeah, 60's rather hard. Is he? Amir deserves. That's what I'm thinking, man. Let's get switched over a second here. Get switched over. Guys, I look like shit as well. I feel like shit, man. I'm telling you. Like, I was sneezing so much yesterday. I felt like I did like 1,000 sit-ups, man. Like, to the point now where if I laugh or a cough, it's like, it's not good. It's not good. But I'm feeling a little bit better today. But still, not 100. So if I start diving off screen to cough and sneeze, I apologise. We're in our standing. What's it at the minute? We're in our standing setup, guys. So, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. You can see sofa's not behind me. So that might be why the audio might sound a little bit odd. Yeah, lads. So next year, obviously, and in between Christmas Day and New Year's, we're going to be streaming. But next year, we're locking in. We're locking in, boys. All right. Yeah. Well, I've got rid of my. What's going on, Easy? I got rid of my tread. Well, I stuck it outside, Jess, and it already got collected. My other treadmill, because one, the motor's shit in it. You've only got to have it on for like half an hour, and you can just smell it burning. So I want to get rid of it because obviously the sofa's coming back in here after Christmas. And the problem with that treadmill is like where the motor is, it's a bit thicker, so it won't go under the sofa. So I'm having to like sit it over there, and it just makes the room look a mess. So I'm going to look for a nice slim one. One that's just, you know, not really for running on. It's mainly just for walking on, because I can do that at the gym. I can go running at the gym or go out for runs. So yeah, I'm going to get a new one. Nice slimline one. When I'm not using it, we can slide it under the sofa afterwards. So yeah, we'll be able to get some walking streams in, boys, or when I'm just editing as well, because like, you know, spend a few hours sometimes editing and watching videos while I'm editing and stuff, and just be able to get some steps in while we're doing that as well. But yeah, man, is this a new mic? It's not. No, I've just got a new pop filter on it. Or I've had it on for a while, actually. What's going on, T? Welcome to the stream. Happy Christmas Eve to everyone who celebrates. Yes, happy Christmas. We're actually just eating for Christmas right now. We made our own roast chicken. Oh, nice, Matt. Nice. Enjoy it. Yeah, to everybody who celebrates, guys, happy Christmas, man. I hope you have an amazing time. Spend it with the people who matter most in your life. And if maybe you're not spending it with people, maybe you're on your own, or it's just a small circle, I hope you have a brilliant day. Whether you're, you know, as I say, spending it with loved ones, or just doing a bit of gaming, or doing something yourself. Maybe some people are working. Hopefully the day goes as smooth as possible, you know. Touch that Christmas tree. Touch some grass. This Christmas tree. I need to plug it in, man. I ain't got it plugged in. Rosa keeps moaning. It's like you never got it on. I do need to, man. I didn't think you'd be like so close to Xmas. Yeah, I wanted to just get on, because obviously last few days been no stream because I've been sorting my desk out. I was thinking, man, I bet everyone thinks a Kurobot's got me, but they didn't. We survived the onslaught, chat. We survived the onslaught. I'm looking forward to 3.0 to see what happens, if I'm honest. Because that whole situation's kind of funny. I've been seeing the Woomer Space getting into some other drama again over the time while I've been off, but you know, it's Wuthering Wave Space, right? What can you expect? Alpha, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I've just been setting up my desk. I've got a new desk at the mini. I've got like an adjustable desk. The only thing I've got to change at the mini is I need to get an adjustable mount for my camera. That's the plan next, is to get a nice adjustable mount. So, because the problem is, when I go up or down, my headset's, fucking headset, my camera's in the same spot. So, like, this is not a max extension. If I go to max extension, I'm like down here. You know what I mean? So, well, on the camera at least, anyway. So, yeah. I need to get one of those sorted, so I'm looking to get one of those sorted. But yeah, just been sorting out my desk and my office really the last few days. I actually literally disconnected everything. It was good though, because obviously having 2 PCs behind a desk, all the stuff that I've got in here. I got rid of my shelf that was here as well. Dust magnet. I don't think that's helped as well. With me not being very well. I think I'm just breathing in dust the last couple of days, cleaning everything out, because electronics actually are magnets for dust, aren't they? Because it being kind of inaccessible, which now it's not, because I can just put the desk up and get to everything easy, so it's really nice. No loved ones, only gaming. Hey, as long as you have a good day of gaming, man. A good day of gaming, that's all that matters. As long as you enjoy it, right? Merry Christmas for our colleagues from Very East. Yes. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates it, man. And even if you don't, you have a good day as well, you know? The Kurobits did getting me to Skinwalker. You're not allowed to look at 3.0 because you don't even play the game. I know, right? Yeah, I know. Can't even take a look. Somebody, you know what the funny thing is? I really need to watch everybody's reacts of that video. I don't care, if I'm honest, what CCs think. Like, I'll make videos for myself. CCs don't like what I've got to say. Don't give a fuck, if I'm honest. The only video that I have watched in full was Blazion's reaction to my second video. And he actually came to the conclusion he agrees with me when we're talking about game design. And I watched a little bit of another one that I don't know if it was Ken. Somebody shared it in the Discord the other day. I don't know who the dude was. Egg something or another, right? I tried to look for the channel again, but I forgot the name. And I watched part of that video. And like, yeah, dude was just so off the mark on so many things. It was actually funny. You could tell it was like a disingenuous reaction. Again, as I say, when it comes to that space, man, I'm okay with people disagreeing, but you can tell so many people got so butthurt about it that didn't even like want to attempt to understand where I was coming from. You know, but hey, look, I've spoke to you guys plenty. I know what the space is like, right? I know what it's like. Incredibly sensitive. And then they come along with, and then they put this out there that we're all just toxic and super sensitive. Because you are. I'm sorry. That part of the community is super sensitive. Yo, Daniel, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. We haven't seen my question. What was that, Mr. Comment? Yeah. I just said I've been sorting my desk out. That's why I've been offline for the last, 2-3 days? I've been looking at the current news and I'm disappointed, but it feels like they don't care much about consistency or that much. It's hard to connect each. See, like for me, I wanted to have a conversation. Like my first video, right, was just terrible. Like in my opinion, the way I put it across. I will say though, I did see that Fox reacted to some of it, and like we've had our disagreements before, right? In terms of just content. Like I say, I'll separate people from content. Like some people can't do that. But like he was one of those people that actually genuinely tried to understand where I was coming from, even when I was probably butchering my expression of my opinion. He actually tried to see where I was coming from rather than framing it as it's an attack on the game and the community kind of thing. But you know, what you gonna do, right? What you gonna do? Oh no, still in the same place. Yeah, Nayazri, welcome to the stream. Hello. You don't play the game at the very right moment as you speak. You can't talk about it, right? I know, yeah, I know. Get your ass to Wooling as soon as possible. I will. I'm gonna bash the game Boxing Day. I'm gonna bash it Boxing Day. But how's it going as well, Renegade? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, man. I'm not gonna lie though. I am excited for the launch. I can't wait. We're gonna lock in. Rosie's gonna book because I think it comes out. Does it come out on the Thursday? I think it's a Thursday, right? Rosie's gonna book off the Thursday and the Friday if she can. So all weekend we're just going in. We're going in. I might even try and see if she can book a Monday off as well. Actually, I said to her, do you want to book a week off? She's like, I'm having a fucking week off work for a game's launch. So I was like, shit. All right, we tried. We'll get them next time, boys. You know, Enfield less than 1 month, right? As well, man. You know what? Like I told ya, freaking. I'm so lurging up. I'm talking and I'm getting out of breath, man. This must be what it feels like to be like a 400-pound person. I'm telling you, I'm talking. I'm like, my God, I'm out of breath. Less than 30 days left. Oh no, man. It's come around so quick, hasn't he? So quick. So close is scary, right? Like I say, I did like putting this in the title, you know, about will 2026 be a huge year for Enfield? And I do think it will, right? I think we're going to have our, you know, our bumps in the road, if you will. I think potentially, like most launches nowadays, first couple of patches will probably be a bit rough, right? In terms of issues. In terms of the game itself, like, obviously, you guys know what I think of the game. I love it. So, I'm going to be having a blast. But I'm cognizant of, like, I'm incredibly biased, right? I'm a shill for Enfield, so I accept that. But not everybody's going to feel the same way. So, you know, I'm expecting some rocky patch for the game. I think the game's going to do exceptionally well, though. I really do. I really, really do. I think it's going to be a massive moment, because obviously we saw more of Silver Palace. I must admit, I'm a little bit disappointed in what we got to see of Silver Palace. Like, I really like the map design, and I made a point in that video saying, see, that's how you can have utility without majorly changing a map's design, because they brought the utility into the map rather than building the map around the utility, or built it in with it in mind. And it looks as well like I get that from a design point, because the actual horse itself's been nerfed a little bit, hasn't he? You know, you can't just like constantly fly. You can glide, or actually flying, you have to hit those updrafts, don't you, to refill your flight stamina or something like that. But the combat's looking a bit rough in it, boys. Did you guys see the Silver Palace combat? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit like, what happened? Like, that very first combat footage we saw before definitely looked better than what we got to see in the most recent video, right? Like, it was like quite night and day. But don't get me wrong, I know, like, I saw a lot of people complaining about the audio, but for me, I think they're just missing sound assets, and that's fine, because the game's being developed. But, like, a bit more of a worry for me was, like, combat looking a bit sus. A little bit sus, like. I definitely need to, work on that. But obviously, the game's got plenty of time for it to, come out, right? So, can't be too harsh on it, really. Just, I was just quite, it was quite like, wow, okay. This footage looks, like, drastically, worse than the first footage we got to see. But obviously, you know, this is what I said before. I was a little bit worried. Silver Palace, for me, was one of those games where I was like, I hope they don't Watch Dogs us, right? That very first footage we see is like, wow. And then subsequent footages after, it's like, wait a minute. All the little bells and whistles seem to have disappeared since that very first bit of footage. I kind of think that's what's happened, really. Again, you know, the game's got a while till it comes out, so I suppose we can't judge too early, can we? Can't judge too early. With the same as AK, all the texts will do, what's that? I'm excited for how Enfield will do their update. Yes, that's a thing that I can't wait to see, actually. How are we going to see, like, you know, character trailers, patch trailers? Like, I was saying this is one of the things I'm actually genuinely excited for with Enfield, is post-launch character stuff for team building, because the team building's exceptionally fun in Enfield. So I genuinely can't wait for that. You know, that, oh, we're getting teasers for this character. Oh, what's the character going to do? How they're going to fit into the team, and then starting to learn about the kit. And yeah, man, I can't wait for that, like, that post-launch phase in Enfield. It's gonna be a fun time, man. It's gonna be a fun time. 200, yeah, I agree. No, you're not wrong. Is the combat another Genshin clone? It's like, I hate to say this, right? Do you know what it just makes me think? It's like rotation slot, right? And I don't mean that Wuthering Waves is bad for having a rotation-based combat system, right? Or Genshin is, or, I don't know, that's more elemental reactions, but you know what I'm saying. Or like Zenless is, and even Zenless is probably a bit more resource management, but it's rotation-based combat, right? And they're all great at what they do on their own. For me, my worry is, right, because we've seen Azure Premilia's doing it, Silver Palace is doing it, and it's like, are we just going to have, like, 7 big action fancy gacha games that all have a very similar kind of combat, where it's just, you know, throw on a character that's like starts a rotation into like a sub DPS or a buffer type character, and straight into your DPS, and we're doing that over and over and over again. I'm a little bit worried that we're going to have a bunch of games that just feel like they play somewhat similar. That's why I know if you break it down, you could argue, well, Enfield, you kind of do, but it's different now. Like, with Enfield, like, bringing in a different character into the team can genuinely change the way you're going about your rotations, if you will, if you want to break it down to that, right? You know, in terms of, like, am I going to be going with the battle skill here and starting a chain reaction off in a different way? There's a lot more potential and depth. Well, it feels like there's going to be in terms of that. And I'm just worried that we're going to have another game where it's going to be like that, right? And it's... I honestly, I don't want like a dozen games that all kind of play similar. Do you know what I mean? Yo, Matrixie, how's it going? We're never getting the limit streams. It's happening. It is happening. It is happening. I was saying, New Year, we are going to be consistent. Watch this space. That's all I'm going to say. And we'll do the trophy thing, man. We'll have a New Year's resolution. That's what we're going to do. And you guys can hold my feet to the flames. Reverse 1999 on steroids. I do like the aesthetic. The aesthetic is gorgeous. I'm a big fan of the aesthetic, right? Why is people calling it a Genshin clone? I don't know. I don't know, to be fair. Honestly. As I say, for me, it's not, right? It's more when I'll just look at rotation-based combat, right? Like, that was one of my biggest disappointments when I looked at Azure Familiar. Like, watching the combat for Azure Familiar, I was just like, oh, what a letdown. I really don't want it to be like that, but, you know, it's an easy way to build action combat and sell characters, right? It's a really easy way to do it. Enfield plays the same way if you ignore his mechanics. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can break down every single game and go, well, you press buttons, right? You know, it's so we can be that reductive to a degree, can't we? And you know, what the fuck is this doing? Okay. Alright, whatever. Alright, YouTube. Carry on. Creatively backed games. Yeah, it's like, let's try something new, man. You know, bring something new to the scene. Like, we can have an action-based game that doesn't have to be around. Because, like, for me as well, like, take away all the, well, they kind of start to feel the same type arguments, right? My worry is, like, this is the thing that, again, glazing Enfield, what I like with Enfield, right, is it makes me want to pull more for characters that might not necessarily be my main damage dealer. They're on field with me all the time. Where, like, when you have games based around this, because let's face it, majority of the time, your DPS unit's going to be your on-field unit for majority of the time, aren't they? So then it makes those sub-DPSs, supports, those units that can be incredibly useful, incredibly meta, but they're so fast on and off field that you barely get to see that character that you've potentially just spent money for. And, yeah, like, I do like the idea of having units on field and even if it's not just all units on field at the same time, but just being able to get use out of majority of my units quite a lot rather than just having that really cool looking character that's really powerful, but they're on field for like 3 seconds and then I never see them again kind of thing. You need to spam Enfield first, so since you only have 5 days till the beta ends. Yeah, I'm gonna bash Enfield on Boxing Day. I might even stream it actually. Yeah, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm not paying too much attention to story. Just enjoying a bit of team building. Like I've been running a Heliga team with the Pan and stuff and the Enmin and that. And Chen, fun as fuck. I can see what you're talking about when you talk about the physical shit. Really fun. But yeah, I don't want to like just hammer the game now because we're like less than a month, right? I really want to appreciate launch for what it is and go through everything properly. I do not agree, but it's okay gameplay anyway. Every game is an iteration of something that already... Oh, yeah, of course, definitely. I don't think Satisfactory made the factory type game, but if anyone said something has a factory, they usually think Satisfactory. Yeah, I think as well with Satisfactory, I think the name, I think it's such a good name. Not only has the game got, like, quite big in that niche, I think it's just an easy game a name to reference, right? Satisfactory. It just flows off the tongue when you're talking about factory games. You know that somebody knows what you're talking about when you say that name, don't they, as well? It was a good name to call a game, that was. That's like saying Sekiro is like Dark Souls if you don't parry. Can't devs make something more fun than just click buttons for gameplay, right? Either Enfield or take this easy approach and go crazy with swap mechanics. Yeah, like, I just like when watching Azure Familiar specifically, and obviously we can't say just yet really out of either game because we don't quite know, right? One thing I will say that I really do like about Silver Palace, I do like the fact that everybody seems like they've got a ranged weapon and a melee weapon. That's nice. I like that. I really do like that. But like when we got to the boss fight as well, right? The boss just stood there pretty much, right? Didn't do anything. Seems incredibly easy and to parry, and parries seem insanely powerful, which I'm fine with. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I will say though, the map looks gorgeous for me, and I think exploration looks quite fun in the game. Which, you know, apparently though, right, we won't talk about exploration, guys. It's not important to these games, apparently, right? Why would you want to have fun exploring an open world? What are you talking about, bro? Missed opportunity called Enfield End Factory. A little heads up for anyone diving into team building in EF. If two combo skills trigger off the same hit, the order you get them is based off the party order. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know that, actually. Thank you. See that? Honestly, I do think there's going to be some real, genuine depth and nuance to team building in the game. I do. I really do. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see, though. Hey, you know, maybe they fuck it up, right? Maybe 3 months into launch, we've got stupid units that just cook, like, and I mean cook as in C-U-C-K, not cook out the combat meta, right? And we're back here in a couple of months saying, you know what, Hypergryph fucked it up, man. Like, what have they done? We might, you know, we gotta be honest, we might. I don't think we will, and I hope we won't, because, you know, I'm looking forward to the game, but we'll have to see what happens, won't we? And I do think there'll be lots of, I hope that they really do lean into some cool mechanics in fights as well to allow for people to really take use of mechanics to use off-meta squads and stuff. You know what I mean? Because sometimes for me, obviously, I want mechanics to mean something. But at the same time, I don't mind if a meta team can sometimes potentially sidestep mechanics a little bit, but I can still do the same content with non-meta squads by engaging with the mechanics as well. But yeah, I really do hope that they find the balance just right in regards to all that stuff. Definitely going to try and cook a good last right team. Midfield. In 1 month, I'll call it Starfield. Also, you don't have to recreate the wheel to make something. Oh, no, definitely not. Right, definitely not. I say it all the time, right? I'm one of those people that if you can take something from another game and improve upon it, or even if you don't improve upon it, but you can implement it really well into your game and it's fun, all day long, I'll say, yeah, man, do it. Do it, because I might like this other game better, but I might really like that one thing out of that other game. And if you can bring it into the game I'm really enjoying now, yeah, I'm here for it. All it is I just don't want us to go from 3 or 4 games that have a similar sort of combat system to, you know, a bunch of them, because then it's like, oh man, I feel like we're missing out on a potential new thing within the. And when I say the gacha games, I'm talking like, you know, the big budget ones, right? The big budget ones. I hear a lot of people say what they like about Enfield is it makes them forget this is a gacha game. Yeah, like, honestly, when 2.0 first came out in Wuthering Waves, I felt a little bit like that for a while. But it falls off quite quick in regards to, like, just, like, for me, like, echo side of things and that. But, yeah, like, obviously we'll have to see what it's like post-launch when we get into the typical content loop, right? And grinding and how events it does to see if it really does that. But for me, you know, when you're in that sort of early game, mid game with Enfield, it really does just feel like an action combat JRPG. It does to me. But again, I'm cognizant of I'm incredibly biased. You know, the amount of comments out of people, man. This dude's just a glazer for Enfield. It's like, all right. And bro, I don't even want to say it. You know, the game's fucking good, man. You know, the game's good. Map feels like it's wide enough. It can be really flexible. It does though. It does. Damn, what in the Christmas stream? Yo, what's going on, SME? Yeah, short little stream today just to touch back in with you people because I've been off for the last couple of days sorting out my desk and stuff. So I wanted to say hi and talk about like what we've got, what we're planning for next year and getting locked in and stuff like. Right, should I say? I spent 32 million in stock build for the 2 decoration items for the Jiang. Oh, okay. I saw Rin talked about Enfield quite a lot with EOXS2. Rin was saying Enfield forced players to think about how combat is grounded, where that we're is failing, where players don't want to engage. Well, I agree. Right, like, again, for me, when it comes to combat, I agree with that. But this is what I was trying to talk about when I was talking about exploration as well, right? To me, Enfield seems to want you to engage with the world that it's built for you through, obviously, finding and collecting stuff. It's not a sandbox, so how do you get people to want to explore? There's a thing over there to get. People didn't really like that, but like, you know, for me, as I say again, going back to that whole world stuff, you know, I want an open world to make me want to explore it. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? But I agree in that regard as well. I do agree with that, overall, there's a lot of aspects of the game that really make you want to engage with its systems, whether it be through the factory stuff, whether it be just even through the trading systems and stuff like that, right? They just feel very engaging. You could, again, for me with Enfield, it's all about the details, the small details. I think they've killed it in that regard. They've done a really good job of it. We players want to dodge the big thingy. Yo, Neil, what's going to do? Deep fried calamari and crisp/spicy chicken wings. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I didn't have really much to eat today. I had egg and bacon sandwich earlier. I've been taking it light, man. We went to the pub yesterday and I woke up this morning. I was a bit rough. Had a few drinks at home, and we decided to go to the pub. And then my brother-in-law and my sister came in. Me and Rosie already had a couple of Christmas shots. And I went to the bar with my brother-in-law to get a few more drinks in. And then he was like, "You want some top shelf stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, go on then. You know, go on then." So, yeah. Woke up feeling a little bit worse for wear. Yo, Yas, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. I get Arknights merch every Christmas. Oh, nice, man. My last video we have made 2.6 views just today. Oh, nice. Do you upload, dear Ark? I'll have to check out your content at some point. That's good then. I'll take Bull down. He's at where he's way too concerned with destination, whereas other genres are right for more interest. Exactly right. I still keep getting comments on my video where people are like, "Just don't use the bike." And I'm like, you can do that, right? I think you're missing my argument. My argument is, if it's designed around it, then not using it becomes a less fun way to play the game. But, and then I've heard people say, "Well, that's the point. That's my point. That's my subjective point is, I don't know if I want that." But you know, apparently you can't have opinions in all area. Opinions in all area. We're doing steaks and lobster sauce for dinner tonight. Ooh, let's go, let's go. Yeah, Rosie's got there's a big fucking gammon, jointed gammon that's in the slow cooker. We got, dude, we went to the butcher's, right? Because my sister's coming round in there and they're bringing their dog and Elsie. So he was like, "Oh, let's go get some turkey crowns for the dogs," right? Rosie comes back to the car. Do you want to know how much you paid for the fucking dogs? It ain't even the Christmas dinner because they're fucking huge, to be fair. £45 for the fucking dog's turkey crowns. Dogs are eating like fucking kings and queens, man. Fucking insane. Biggie tea in my house, sat here with sausage roll and a bit of quiche. Eh? I'm not really a big quiche person, to be fair. I just got back from vacation too, had some good food. Oh, nice, man. It's a turkey crown. It's just like I don't know exactly what, isn't it just like the best part of the breast, I think. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But it's like, both are like this fucking big with like rashes of bacon on them as well. Actually ridiculous. Yeah. They're eating good. Yeah, well, like, again, I do think it's fair, because like when Blazy reacted my video, a lot of my video is based on assumptions. I can only go off what I've seen, and what I've seen might not be representative of the entire map. you know, they might totally really do well with the design, aren't they? So, you know, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But just from what I could see, did look a little bit like that, right? You know, and it's, you know, because we've all saw this High Guard game, right? It makes me like think, like, a lot of people have been shitting on it, rightfully so, right? It looks like another Concord type game. But how can we look at like small snippets of gameplay of a game like that and come to a conclusion of our opinions on what we expect it to be? And that's fine. But then when you talk about another game which you've actually played and you're seeing something coming in, you critique it, or you question it, or you have a personal opinion on it, you're not allowed to do that. It's like, it's just kind of, I don't get that. We can literally have never heard of a game, see a trailer for it, look shit. We can play a game almost for a year, daily, see a trailer for a new area and go, I don't know about that. And everyone goes, what? Bro, how can you say this, man? You know? What's a turkey? A big ass burb. Yo, Biggs, Merry Christmas. Came back from Anime Fest in my country. Oh, nice, man. Hopefully that was fun. Merry Christmas as well. Merry Christmas to everybody in the chat who celebrates it. Hope you have a great Christmas, guys. I do. Alright, shall we have a look at a couple of things I wanted to look at then today, chat? Shall we have a look at a couple of things? We've got a couple of things to look at. Speaking of Woowa, I saw a thumbnail of another newbie Arknights player responding to your Woowa video. Let's say they don't agree with you. That's fair. That's fair. Again, I totally understand that my opinion is probably quite a minority opinion in the Woowa space, right? And even if it's not, there's going to be a ton of people disagree with me, right? Completely and utterly disagree with me on every single point. And that's fine. That's fine. I think like for me, it's when people start to get angry about it, right? That's when I'm like, okay, this is just, you know, what are we doing? Why does it make you angry? You know? And that's when, because people have got an emotional attachment to something, and in their head, their brain's like, oh, no, wait a minute. You don't like that? Bro, that was peak. You know? Like, I've seen so many people acting like a video game's never had a biking before, like, because I didn't fucking jizz my pants when fucking the character jumped on the bike. You know, like, Gacha tribalism a hell of a drug, right? They had me a birthday stuff. No, Leo, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the stream. Never had turkey in my life. It's just basically a drier version of chicken, if I'm honest. You know, I'd rather have chicken myself, really. It's just a thing you do at Christmas, innit? It's just a drier version of chicken. Probably a little bit healthier than chicken, actually. It's a bit leaner. It's a bit drier, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, you can cook it so it's not. But yeah, it's basically a drier version of chicken. You can do if you want me to comment. Like I said, I honestly haven't been watching people's videos on it. I saw a little bit of Cap's reaction in a stream because people linked him. She was just finishing it though. I saw a little bit of Saint talking about it, but that was literally again at the end because I didn't know it was happening until people was linking it and it had already finished. I saw Blazion's reaction to my second video because I'm not really interested in people's reactions to my first video, if I'm honest, because personally, I believe I didn't express myself anywhere near well enough, so I don't really care what people think about it, if I'm honest, because I think it was a shit video myself, so it's like, whatever people say, I don't care. You know, it is what it is. But like, yeah, I've only seen Blazion's, and I've seen this other dude, and like, even in the video, when I said about I used to play Woowa, like, dude was like, I don't believe that. It's like, alright then, you've obviously got this version of me in your head anyway, so I don't give a fuck. If I'm honest, I couldn't give a fuck what CCs think about my videos and my views on games. I don't care. Oh, that's the one I saw, I think, Mr. Comment. Yeah, not gonna lie. Dude was like, the parts of the video I saw, dude was just being a dickhead, if I'm honest. He was genuinely, he was talking over me and then going back and mishearing what I was saying, misrepresenting what I was saying, making out that I wasn't somebody who played Wuthering Waves before. I only saw bits of that. Yeah, that's the only one I've seen other than Blazion's. Well, I say I've seen, I watched parts of it. I think dude was being incredibly disingenuous in the video. I think that's the one that Ken might shared in the Discord, actually. Turkey's just an expensive dry chicken. Yeah, for real, Neo. Yeah, we got a gammon as well. I love when Captain crashing into your video. She can't even control herself. At least ain't mock laughs and mocks. Captain's just... yeah, I didn't see. I saw her a bit at the end, and she did seem... And people were saying, like, she's crashing out. I honestly, like I say, I genuinely don't mind people reacting to my comment and saying what they want to say about me. It really doesn't bother me. Like, for me, the reason I made the follow-up video, because I had some people say, you didn't even acknowledge the points that was made in, like, Legion's video and Cap's video. I was like, I didn't watch them. I made this follow-up video because I, like, fucking drunk drove into a brick wall in the first video. My points still stand, but I did a bad job of explaining them, you know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, Kiari. Crash out for CC or just content farming? Yeah, I think so, because I genuinely don't think people get mad. Like, if you're an adult, yeah, and you're actually genuinely getting mad because somebody might have a different opinion than you, you've got to be content farming, right? Because, oh, you know, I think, yeah, man, you need to have a reflection a little bit. But if it's for content, man, yeah, man, I don't mind people fucking calling me all the names under the sun, man. They're getting paid. I don't judge them at all. Because this is one thing I've said to people. I can separate a human from the content, right? Whatever somebody, as long as they're not being criminal or like a terrible human being, right? If they're just saying mad stuff about video games, even if it's the most out there, crazy wild stuff in the context of video games, I'm like, wow, okay. But they're probably a chill person in real life, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I don't pay too much mind to people getting mad about other people's content. What's going on, BS Commissions, though? Yeah, baby. We're locking in, Leo. We're so locking in. Yeah, we could check it out. I don't know if I'm gonna get. Like, I might just do it for the culture because obviously I can't even use Amir, right? Can't even use Amir anymore, man, because we E2, didn't we? Because we had to. We had to E2, huh? All right, shall we have a little look at some of this stuff here? All right, let me switch scenes a sec. Let me switch scenes a sec. All right. So, we got some stuff going on in the Gacha space, guys. I thought this picture was kind of funny. Gacha devs, you've got a choice. Do you go left to boring auto battlers, or do you go right to badly optimized Unreal Engine open worlds? Or do you go to really good optimized Unity semi-open worlds? You know, got to get a little glaze in there. You know what I mean? Little glaze in there. Yo, I'm just gonna say though, yeah, Trick Called Chibi Go. It's not boring, bro. It's not boring. You need to check it out, guys. Actually, all right little game, man. It's definitely worth checking out, I think. It's one of those games that like most people just never conversate about or talk about, but it's just there doing its thing, and it's all right, man. It's all right, man. So yeah, should we watch the, where is it? Can we watch this NTE Coex test trailer? Because I haven't watched this yet. Because obviously I've been offline for the last couple of days. Is this the video I need to be watching? Have there got any other videos that have released recently? So we got these. Okay, so yeah, all right. Let's check this out then. Because NTE's that game, right? It's like, it feels like every time it's done something, it's got overshadowed by Ananta / Project Mugen or just other games, you know? And I feel a little bit bad for the devs, to be fair, because everybody, I'm one of those people. I want them to succeed, right? You know, a lot of people have got a lot of things to say about Terror of Fantasy, right? But just in the way that it looks like they're attempting to do things with the gacha systems and the stuff they're adding to that, it seems like they want to try to do something a little bit different in some regards. But from all the footage I've seen so far, right, the combat looks okay, right? Looks okay. A little bit mid in places. The world looks cool. It does look cool. Character designs are a little bit hit and miss. The driving looks pretty kind of substandard, personally, in terms of the mechanics and the physics of the way the cars drive and move. That's one big thing I think they really need to get. Because to me, if you're going to have an open world game, right, and you're going to have cars involved, now, I'm not trying to be unfair in saying when you've got games like GTA, you need to step up your game. But you kind of have to, right? Like, if you're going to have driving in your game, the physics have to be good. Otherwise, that driving just isn't fun. And it's just really kind of a little gimmicky, show-offy thing then. Like, I want to feel like the driving feels good to drive around. So hopefully we might be maybe get to see. I don't know what this trailer is, man. I don't know if we're even seeing gameplay here. Yeah, like I'm gonna be checking out NTE, but yeah, I'm a little bit worried that it's gonna find itself sandwiched between a bunch of massive games, whether that be Enfield, whether it be a Nanta, whether it be Azure Premier. I just feel like it might be like the underdog in all of these upcoming huge games that are coming out in the next couple of years, whenever this happens. But let's check it out then, shall we? The NTE COEX test trailer. Hello, newcomer. Is this a good one, guys? Did they cook or what? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hot Studio.
Oh, wonderful life.
Oh.
Everything's spinning and changing around, and I'm at you.
This is one thing though, right? I will say these guys cooked in. You know, in some of the put scenes / dialogue scenes, killed it. Like, when I first saw them, I was like, damn, man, these are like ZZZ level of good, like. I'm not even going to mention what we saw there. Okay. This, like, just this here just reminds me of the ZZZ character selection screen. Song's good, yeah. It's alright, man.
You ain't gonna live forever. Tick, tick, tack, toe.
Okay.
Raise your head and look around this.
Okay, so they're showing off, because we saw a little bit of this before, didn't we? We're going to have, like, lots of mini games and arcade stuff for them. Okay. Fishing.
We have no time. I invite you to savor of.
Okay, all right, let's have a look at the fishing here. So we cast off, and then we've got to keep it within this bar that's moving here then. Okay.
Moment of this world. Whatever you.
Man, you know when you... I'm not even saying anything. Just reminded me of ZZZ, that did there, where you actually get the fish.
Drifting down this Milky Way. If I'm with you, I'm sure I'll be there. Thousands and thousands.
See, like, this sort of stuff, though, I hope they do lean into it, man. You know? Because, for me, I think they should really try and lean into, like, a Yakuza-style vibe with a lot of the gameplay stuff. I think I'd be cool with that.
Times. Okay, let's wander through the urban life. Accidental magic.
What's this?
Days and nights. Oh, baby.
Is this actual gameplay? It looks like it, right? We've got a little indicator up here. Have we got, like, first-person horror type kind of... That would be sick if they do that. Let me just send that back a second.
Okay, let's wander through the urban life. Accidental magic. Turning days and nights. Oh, baby.
That's gameplay, right? They did add first-person since last beta. That's... Yo, alright. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Around and round in this circle of us, we find our way.
Oh, is this where we... Now, is this a story beat thing, or is this just something that happened? I'm assuming this is probably just a story beat thing, yeah? Or can we actually go to jail? Last year? A little bit, right? Okay, looks cool. Damn. How many days? Cake? Okay.
We rolling?
Shinku.
Let's go.
Them enemies there reminding me of that. What's that one first-person game where you like do all jutsu stuff? Do you know which game I'm talking about? Those enemies kind of remind me out of that game. Okay, I like her. I like her a lot.
That was close.
That's racist. That's racist. I got told that's a racist hand signal that is. You know, so all deep sea divers, racist.
You just saw the work of an
Roy.
average day at CSU. Next, the contained anomaly will be sent to the Seleno compound.
These are new characters, right? I don't remember seeing this character before. Am I tripping?
Everything is done according to safety protocol.
We know where.
Senpai's at
I like her
ETD,
design, actually.
So feel free to leave containment cleanups to us.
You see what I'm talking about here? With, like, the animation in the scenes. The in-game scenes and stuff. I really like it. I think it's really, really well done.
Sorry. It's containment breach.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Damn. Bro, my pausing skills are just still freaking goated. Honestly. Still goated. Alright. Okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Your signature
Ghost
phrase
Warrior.
now? Knock it off.
That's it. That's the game. That's the game it kind of reminded me of, them enemies. Ghostwire. That's the one.
What do you think of ETD?
Nitsa. And these characters look nice, though.
The best of the best in our city.
Do you reckon they've gone in strong with this here because it was one of the big criticisms from a lot of people that they were a little bit, you know, people were a little bit split on the character design, right? A lot of people talking about that they felt very inconsistent, where some minority of them felt like they fitted in with the world and the others didn't. I really like these character designs, actually.
The embodiment of absolute strength and control.
Really?
More like a
Damn.
weirdo club, but it feels safe. There's you and the others.
That hair is
So,
crazy.
Would you like to work with me and the others?
Of course! I mean, without a doubt.
How is
Chaos.
it compared to when you were at Groth Island?
Still dealing with anomalies. Same old. If you ask me, after all
This dude's
those
less
years in
interesting.
Groth, I know these scumbags the moment I lay
Lacrimosa.
my eyes on them. But the Bureau, they don't trust me enough.
Okay, we've seen these guys before, yeah. I think we've seen all. I know we've seen this dude. Isn't he the one that like can he like dive into his shadows almost like ink? If I remember right. Bro, he's so HSR coded.
They want me to follow procedures and get authorized for everything. If we have to follow every little step, criminals would all have great-grandchildren before justice is served. Hey, let me finish. Justice delayed is justice denied. The Bureau should be more efficient when it comes to prosecution.
Unpopular opinion, they are over-designed. I don't know if that is necessarily an unpopular opinion with this game. That was one of the big critiques a lot of people had, T, with the other characters. Because I think sometimes that is a fair thing with some gacha games. Some characters do, because, you know, there's a fine line between being incredibly well-designed and being over-designed, right? So, yeah, you know what? Fair comment, man.
In the Bureau, we have
Become a bit busy,
reliable
can't they,
espers on our
sometimes?
side,
You want careful.
and we also have...
They're doing the ring. It's the ring girl.
What's this? Hey, what are you doing? Let go of me! I'm an evil spirit! I edit this out! Don't use it! We're making a video. You want a shot? What's your greatest reward since working at ETD? Investigations bring me to places where I can find rare
But did she come with her or something then?
Tamagotchis. I wouldn't have went to those places otherwise.
Fucking Tamagotchi, man.
think she was expecting that answer. I can sense it. A super rare Tamagotchi is close.
Oh my days. Boys, did you see the recoil? Yo, Dead End, what's up, dude? Even in those few steps, man, there was some insane recoil. Like, what the hell?
Sense it. A super rare Tamagotchi is close.
Oh my days.
How long is
Shit.
it gonna take? I'm gonna take a nap. Here.
Okay, I quite like that design, actually. That's kind of cool.
Why did you join the Bureau?
me like monster vibes. Hack the world, man.
It's meaningful.
I like his
To
design.
bring the Esper criminal who killed your friend to justice? Something meaningful like that?
It's a bit too emo, maybe, but I kind of like his design. Okay, all right.
Glad I got this backed up. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in working with us, then tune in for next time.
Everything looked a bit ass there. So, okay, we're gonna have to sign up for this. So, we didn't get to see any like car gameplay because I really wanted to see that, right? Because I want to see some improvements on the physics around driving. You're gonna put driving in a game for me, as somebody coming from years of enjoying Grand Theft Auto and just car games in general, right? If you're gonna put them in, you got to do it right. And what we saw before, I wasn't happy with. But I will say, like, I am going to play this game, right, because I quite like the vibe of it. Like, I can see what you're saying. You know, some of the characters, I think still it is a fact that they've gone in strong showing off some cool designs. But I do think it's a fair, like, this character looks great. I think it's a fair statement to say that we'll have to see what the world building's like, right? How everything's explained to see, do these characters really genuinely fit in this world? Because they might well do when we see the, when the game drops, right? But there is definitely, man, I'm sold here. Like, this character, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'm all over it. I'm all over it, right? So, one thing I've got to say, I do like that they showed off a good bunch of, like, we got our parasocial moments with our waifus here, by the looks of it, where we can run around with our waifus. This environment looks great. The prison arc, I'm guessing this is like a story beat. It'd be interesting to see if we can get sent to jail as well, because we can get chased by the police, right? So will we actually have some sort of like mini game to escape prison as well, or have to serve time for amount of time if we do get locked up? Be interesting to see that as well. I do think seeing these sort of stuff is cool. You know, if you're gonna have an urban game, you need stuff like this, right? For me personally, you know, you need to have like Yakuza elements, you know, your Red Dead Redemption type things, you know, where you can go and do slice of life stuff. And this is actually quite interesting. This inside a gacha game, I think, is actually kind of cool, quite unique. It looks like they're bringing in sort of a first person Outlast alien isolation horror kind of game. I can't like that. Again, this is why I do genuinely want to see NTE succeed for me. And that's all on Hodder making a good game at the end of the day. Goodwill's not enough, right? Because, again, one thing for me that they did in Terra Fantasy, they tried a bunch of different stuff. Didn't always quite work out. And a lot of people just, you know, the game itself wasn't enough to bring them in to try out those new things. But it does look like that, you know, they're trying a bunch of different things here. It's all on tying it together to actually making it work. We'll just have to wait and see. Like, I feel like NTE is like a game that just, it just happens to be coming where there's a lot of big gacha titles. You know, you got, like I say, Ananta, you got Enfield coming, you got Azure Familiar coming, we got Silver Palace coming, and it's just whether it can stand on its own in with all those games. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out. This has got 1.6 million views. Are they real? Are they real? Are they real, chat? Now, I'm not saying they're botting, but that's a lot of views for a game that in the upcoming games is less spoken about. Maybe I'm judging it a little bit there. Because, like, we see these upright, and then, you know, this kind of not how views work on videos. You tend to see a curve that goes like this kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Who knows? Who knows? It might be ran through on ads as well. So it could be that, right? Because if they're embedding it as ads, then it makes sense for that to be like that. I guess so. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing it. How many of you guys are gonna be checking out NTE? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say how big of a game it's going to be. I think it's got the potential to rise above culturally what Tower of Fantasy did. Because let's face it, Tower of Fantasy obviously made a lot more money than we think it made. The devs even joked about that in an interview apparently at one point. And also for them to be able to then go on to make a game like this. It obviously made plenty of money over its life cycle, right? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see the journey of NTE. I am like anticipating it, right? I really hope they improve the driving physics. It's a big, big thing for me. They really need to work on that. But yeah, we will be there. We will be there. I'm going to sign up for the beta. When's the beta? When is the beta actually? But yeah, we will be there. We'll be there. We'll be playing. We'll be playing. When is the beta though, guys? Bix, do you think the trailer was NTE showing they're competing with Ananta with the new Mi Games clothing system and the gel system? Maybe. Because that is their competition, right? Like, people can argue it all the like. That's going to be their direct competitor, isn't it? So they have got to, like, prove that they offer a game that's equivalent or better than Ananta, right? We don't really know enough about Ananta yet anyway, do we? Especially with how things are going to be monetized. Like, how is Ananta getting monetized? We don't know, do we? Like, what is the monetization system of Ananta? I don't think it's... Gateo has uploaded early gameplay. Oh, has he? Has he? Oh, let's have a look then. Yeah, because I want to see the cars. I'm really interested in seeing the cars. Have a look. Let's have a look. Here we go. Hold up. Looks pretty though, right? Environmental design is gorgeous. Just this bit here, this just makes me think of Yakuza, man. Okay, we got to see the snow. That looks pretty. I like that. It's good. Oh, is not more? Is there not more? Is it going? Oh, I need to see cars. I need to see cars, man. Nah. Okay. I need to see cars. That's what I'm interested in. Environmentally though, gorgeous. Apparently there's just cosmetics gacha. Okay, is that what it is? Yeah. Right, so until 23rd, so I don't know when it actually starts. Nancy's following his brother where we meet cosmetic gacha. Okay. Yeah, the environment looks good, right? May easily achieve what you want for uniqueness, then over design. Of designing itself makes your character look samey because everyone does it, like giving your character multiple belts or straps. Yeah, I think it's a fair point as well, T. I do. They all can't be Hypergryph. True. You can already hear my laptop screaming, yeah, man, rip people on low-end systems and mobiles for this upcoming, like, slew of gacha games, right? It's not looking good for a lot of people's systems, you know? Even, like, console as well, right? A lot of consoles I'm going to be struggling with it. Seems boring to me, but modern settings do not interest me. That's fair. Are they showing environmental... Yeah, they look good. Yeah. It looks good. I have to wait until the beta drops, I'm afraid. Yeah. Bro, got the big 4 in his PS5. Yeah, man. Like, boys. Like, this is crazy, right? Like, is he just far less compressed on PS5? Or are these, like... Are these pre-patched updates and stuff. This is mad. 142 gig for Star Rail. What? How the fuck? This is Call of Duty shit. This is actually crazy. Like these, because like these are not that big on PC. I know Wuthering Waves, Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Zenless are not this big on PC. Like, I'm sure Zenless is around 40 gig. I'm sure, well, last time I played, Wuthering Waves is in the 40s. Genshin definitely 161. It's been a hot minute though, and there's no way Star Rail was 142 either. It's real, really. It's over 100 days worth of voice lines in 4 languages. Is it just like an issue with like compressing files on console then or something? It's like, I swear to God, like, shit ain't that big on PC. Because the language packs are not optional. Fuck me, how big is the language packs are? Still, it's crazy that is. Again, I think that's more of a console thing, right? Because I swear to God, they're not that big on PC. All right, should we have a little look at this then, guys? So, Nexon are working on a gacha game, apparently. I think it's a gacha game anyway. It's called Project RX. So we've got an interview, I think, with the devs, and we've got a little video here as well. So should we have a little look at the trailer for this? This came out 5 days ago. Project RX official teaser trailer. Let's have a little look and see what it's about. Apparently it's an isekai game. The Gas Company. Is this, which was the game now that I remember hearing about before, where it was like supposed to be like, I think it was an all-female game. I don't think it was an isekai game though, where it was like going to be centered around like it was like a ninja or samurai school or something. I don't know. I don't know if it was that one. I don't think so. Project KV. I don't know. Can't remember what it was called. Oh, that was a teaser. Okay. Shit. Okay, we got a little idea of characters there, but not much else. Okay. Project RX is an upcoming anime-style game by Nexon's IO division, aiming to create an immersive storytelling experience with strong character interactions. All right, then. Key highlights: interactive storytelling. Project RX is a subculture game where players and characters face various problems and adventures in their daily lives and build memories together. Visual design: the game features 3D graphics and character designs by Yutoka Mizu, known for their work on Blue Archive characters. Okay, kind of makes sense looking at some of those characters, actually. Combat system: details are scarce, but internal testing suggests a unique combat system. Okay, that's a lot of PR bullshit, but considering what we were talking about earlier and my worry of everything turning into rotation-based combat systems, the idea of having a unique combat system is interesting to me. Whether or not this is an action game or not, I don't know. We're hearing 3D graphics, but got no idea what it's actually about. Possibly a beta within the next year. Okay, let's have a look at this then here. So, we got this video here inside Nexon Games IO Division Episode 3. First look at Project RX teaser trailer. So, I think this has got EN captions, maybe? Or actually, I don't think it has. Has it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this here then. So, a new video from Nexon has been released regarding the development report of Project RX and the future of Blue Archive. There isn't much about what RX will be besides the released teaser and general talks regarding the growth of IO Division. Okay, all right. Okay, so maybe we don't need to watch that then. Summary: RX is an isekai-themed game that puts players into a world where people want to live with Bishoujo, by the way. Initially, the idea was so vague that it was required more people to pitch in to explore more possibilities. Okay. The combat mechanics were not fully shown Young thinks it is way too, this was too enough for now. Okay, obviously this is not, English is some bad translations here, I'm guessing. The current game build is now playable. Okay. The team conducted a playtest this past September, and Min Xiao's opinion was not bad at all. Okay. Not exactly, not exactly like the best thing. It's alright. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yo, Reldon, what's going on? Casual as well. Just casual. Welcome to the stream. As you go, boys. Happy Christmas to everybody as well, guys. So both the Blue Archive and RX teams are still recruiting, finding talent that possesses both technical skills and deep understanding of anime subculture is difficult in Korea. BA team members have not been completely transferred as the development has doubled in size and is still recruiting to handle the game next year and into the future. So, what's that? We're looking at it dropping next year then maybe? Or is that just development next year? Younghan made a bold claim that RX is something you have never seen before. Okay. No concrete date of anything, more infos in the next year to come. Okay, my personal speculation, dating a character might also be focused gameplay. Combat is either action or turn-based. As a UE5, ooh. Unreal 5. Wrap it up, boys. It's over. Wrap it up, boys. We're cooked. It's cooked. It's going to run like shit. The game might be available on PC and PS5 as well. Possibly betas in 2026, judging by how ramped up of devlogs. Okay. Dated character is a focused gameplay. Peak alert. Yeah, shit. Is it? I don't think there's anything in here, is there? Are you guys interested in this? It's always you here. Ah, man. How's it going though, Reldon and Just Casual? How we doing, boys? How we doing? It's a bold claim. UE5, let's fucking go. Fuck, man. Fuck. So, okay. Video sound like an auto dub. Let's have a listen.
I don't even know if it's been a year since I started. It's been so busy, working hard to solve and process things one by one, that I took this picture here, and already a year has passed, and it's our 4th anniversary. What's been happening every month? Oh, should I say something? There are various
16
events
times detail. Let's
Good
go.
Things happen. Yes.
It just works. It just works. It just works. Okay, so I'm not really interested in the team. I just, as the poll said, I don't think there's much about the game itself, right? So yeah, okay. We'll have to wait and see. Or yeah. Blue Archive enjoyers might be interested. It might be interested there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so guys. Boys and girls. Boys and girls. The best game of 2025, according to some. The most overgassed game, in my opinion, of 2025 as well. Seems to have not really had the greatest first patch, according to some. Again, I got filtered hard by this game. I did. Like, the first few hours for me filtered the fuck out of me, man. Like, the story just killed it for me at the start. Apparently, it gets good, right? So, but, yeah. Again, I do plan to get back on this game and play it, but I also am planning to jump onto Warframe, so I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to bother, really. But we got this patch really dropped the ball. 1.1 killed my motivation and made me uninstall. Long-time advocate here. The devs need to stop buying content creators' opinion to protect their game. Seeing all the doom posting making me sad for DNA. So it seems like a lot of people are just not too happy. It is ready. So it's to be expected. We do have a video here from Braxophone. It's sponsored, so we're not going to get the real deal. But I was kind of curious to see what he's got to say about it. I saw a comment here. Where was it? The grind is just not fun. I love to grind, but the way these commissions are set up just ain't it. Most of the drops are useless. The enemies don't change. They spawn in the same location, same pathing, same density, same dialogue. It's just bad. The game's gacha, well, most of it being removed from the last minute to put the game in an identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be. The open world is set up like a gacha game. The gacha that's still in the game is most unfair BS system compared to like WoA. I have hope for the game. I want it to be good, but I really need another year, maybe even two. I said this, right, that you can definitely still see when you start playing the game, overhanging gacha systems are still there, like a eerie shadow in this game. That once you start playing it, even though it's not a gacha game, although it has cosmetic gacha, you can tell it's got its its DNA is rooted in a gacha game, right? Because it is, right? It just is. Like, and for me, as I said, when I spoke about this game initially, I had so many people commenting on my video saying, bro, maybe you're just too much of a gacha gamer to enjoy grind, where it's not the case. I like grind, but I also don't believe in this falsehood, in my opinion, where a lot of people go, that's grind. Grind just shouldn't be bad. Like, it's supposed to be enjoyable. Just because a game has grind doesn't mean it shouldn't be somewhat fun. For me, again, as somebody who's only got a few hours on the record in Warframe, that will change very soon. Even just that little bit that I played of Warframe and the stuff I've seen of Warframe, it is just, it's a sidestep and almost a backstep from Warframe, right? You know, that they've took everything that game is and was and just not improved upon it really in any major way. It is just like a Temu anime version of Warframe, isn't it? And I've said this before, totally cool with games taking from other games. I think if you're going to do it, you've got to make it better, right? And I just think the biggest problem with Duet Night Abyss is that it didn't manage to do that at all across the board. So let's see what this post says then. This patch really dropped the ball. I was really on the dev side this entire time, hoping against all odds that they might pull through with the redemption. 1.1 turns out, with a redemption 1.1, turns out 1.1 is worse than 1.0 when it comes to player friendliness. The visual upgrades are nice and they are appreciated, but at least a dozen other posts have pointed out everything else just got worse. New anemo wedges that go hand in hand with the nerfing of the most popular secret letter farming spot, a bump of 20 levels in the theatre that only serves to gatekeep your letters are for your characters and your wedges and everything, right? If I remember correctly now. That only serves to gatekeep new players even further from the end game. Personally, I couldn't get past Act 7. Enemies that are level 105 already are 105 already. Oh, but I have the intertwined thoughts to make up for the flaws I'm missing. And the new premium item to save some time on farming. Honestly, HP inflation for the end game coming as early as 1.1 has to be some sort of record. I could farm for new wedges, but at this point, all the wind is taken out of my sails. I honestly hope a large amount of players end up leaving so the devs understand that these player-unfriendly changes are not good for their current game state. Doubling down on aspects people didn't like in the first place is not the way to go. This update is the equivalent of a porcelain outhouse. It looks really good, but there's so much shit inside. I guess I'll wait to see what happens in 1.2, but hope so long. Not to mention a severe lack of quality of life changes / features, a ton of translation localization bugs, and most importantly, no meaningful changes whatsoever to the core gameplay loop. Still the same mundane, boring and unfun commissions that we have to grind thousands and thousands of times without them being challenging or otherwise fun to get lackluster rewards. See, this is what I said to people, right? You know, when people were gassing this up, because, and it's fine to feel like this, right? I understand getting fucking bored and being over gacha, right? Being like, I just want an anime game that you know, gets into this subculture, but doesn't have 50-50s, and I'm not building pity, and I'm not dealing with all the FOMO, and I can just go and play it, right? But I think a lot of people genuinely thought, well, look, the gacha's out, game's obviously better. Changing of a monetary system in a game doesn't make a game better, right? It makes it better for your wallet, maybe, but it doesn't inherently improve a game. And I think it was just, I just think DNA is just an alright game, right? You know what I mean? I think it's just an alright game. Grind, I don't think is the issue. I think a lot of people who maybe don't play grindy games might take issue with grind. But I think it's just, you're grinding in a game that's inherently just not as good as something that's been on the market for over a decade. You know what I mean? Again, for me, I don't think Duet Night Abyss is a bad game. I think it's got a very poor first couple of hours in terms of like bringing you into the game. I think it does a really bad job of it, personally. And I don't think it's a bad game. It just is, right? For me, I think it just is. It's just one of those games. It just is. It's just there. It's, you know, it's not bad. It's not great. It's just okay. But as I say, I think the way people gas it up because of the monetization change, I think it kind of just I think it almost set the game up to fail because the expectations are so high. If that makes sense. But yeah, I just think it's a game that's just kind of mid. And then if you add excessive grinding, or not even so much excessive grinding, or just have a game that's based around grind that's mid anyway, do I really want to do mid over and over and over? Great, I can do over and over and over, right? Amazing, I can do over and over and over. Mid, I don't even, do I want to do that over and over and over? Mid's something that you can do just for a few hours, right? And it's like, okay, you know, I was all right. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, but it's finished. You know, when you're expecting people to potentially do thousands of hours worth of mid, I think that's where it starts to fall apart. And for me, it took me only a couple of hours to realise that I wouldn't be putting hundreds of hours into a game like Duet Night Abyss because it just didn't have the sauce, you know? It didn't have the special sauce, did it? Be interesting to see what happens over the coming time now, but yeah, I don't think Duet Night Abyss is going to be killing it in any sense, if I'm honest. I've already seen like comments on videos and spaces where people are like, I just started playing Warframe. And do you know what? I think if anything, I think this game has just give Warframe a second renaissance, in a sense. I think people have come to this, tried it out and gone, it's kind of missing, you know, it's missing something. And then people have come along and gone, bro, go check Warframe out. And then they've gone to check that out and they're like, oh, that's it. There's the dash of salt, right? There's the little bit of extra sauce that game needed. That's what it was missing, which I suppose is a good thing, right, for a game like Warframe, right? So, you know, hey, I suppose it's done a good thing there. It's showed people that there's a better version of a game out there, of the game. So, all right then, should we see what Brax's phone's got to say about it then? Sponsored video, so take it with a pinch of salt, if you will. Is Duet Night Abyss 1.1 worth playing? Everything new in version 1.1 Duet Night Abyss. All right, let's see what he's got to say then, shall we? Let's go.
In the 8 weeks since the release of Duet Night Abyss, we have gotten
It's
an
been that long
entirely
already.
new region, an entire engine upgrade, huge multi...
I will say that though, it's quick really to get such a supposed big update out, right?
update.
Is that a problem with this game? Are they just rushing too much? Are they just like, I think this game probably could have done with another 12 months in the oven, right?
New demon wedges, shop updates, and so much more. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over everything new in version 1.1.
DNA's grind is exceptionally boring.
Duet Night Abyss team for sponsoring this video. I will have some more 1.1 content, including a full review coming out.
Have I mentioned yet that Warframe has over 80 characters, each with one passive 4 abilities, and each frame can pass one of their 4 abilities to mix? Yeah, I think that's the thing as well with this game, right? The characters just don't do enough, do they? Do you know?
Later, but today's video is just going to be going over everything new in the patch, as well as some of my first impressions, but this is not a full review video, so don't take this as like my final say or anything like that. Anyways, with that being said, my name is Braxphone, you can call me Brax, and let's just get right into it. Version 1.1 brings us to the beautiful Huashu region, and as you can see, it has a lot of Eastern inspiration. It's really beautiful, the grass is long and green, which I haven't seen a lot of in a very long time. That's probably my fault though, I should just go outside. And the environment feels very different from the previous Ice Lake environments and sewers. What do you know? We're not in negative 40-degree weather. If we look at Eastern Ice Lake, this is kind of the original and main region of the game in version 1.0. There is also the Lanza Fortress and Purgatorial Island, which is the starting zone. However, Mist Wharf is a massive map where basically everything is traversable. It has multiple layers to it, and Mist Wharf isn't the only location. There's also 2 other locations that come with doing the main quest line. One of the things I really love about this region is how beautifully it...
I'm going to say already, man, the performance doesn't look that great from Brax's video, and I'm sure Brax has got a pretty beefy PC, right?
Switches like biomes almost, like the color of the grass will change over time. You'll get entire fields full of different flowers, different trees. You'll get mountainous regions. It's all here. And because this world is so open, it feels drastically different from Ice Lake, which had a kind of guided open world feel to it. But one of the coolest things about this region is that it's fully multiplayer. As long as your game settings are on for being able to have a multiplayer experience, you will see other players running around the world. Now,
that was a lot of people's issue with the initial area because it was just really for the little town where you got to see other people, right? So, you know, that's a positive right there. W.
I am on a beta version of the game, so it's been kind of hard to find people, but maybe we'll see one in this video. But it makes the world feel so much more alive. They're really embracing the MMO-like aspects of this game, which is what... Oh, here's another player right now. Wow, look at this. Hello, Blade 4. Holy cow, they're as excited as I am. I'm going to put this down and see if they... Oh. I must smell bad or something. I've always really enjoyed games where you can see other people playing it because it makes it feel more like a community and more like there's a whole bunch of people experiencing the same thing that you are. That sense of togetherness is something that I really miss in modern games. Anyways, the Washu region is really just a gorgeous zone.
I'll see some big pop in there as well.
Looking if they hadn't updated the entire engine of the game. I don't know if you've noticed, but the lighting in the game looks significantly better with shadows casting much better, and overall just the shading seems much improved. You can see this especially on characters. As you scroll through the character menu, all of them look...
See, like, I see a lot of people really, like, gassing up how good this area looked, right? And I suppose it's an unfair comparison because Wuthering Waves is a good-looking game. You know, I'm not going to compare it to Enfield because, you know, Enfield, for me, it's the tippity top in terms of visuals at the minute. Wyvern looks far better than this. I don't know why people are really gassing up the visuals that much. It looks all right, but it doesn't look spectacular. Personally, if I'm going to be honest, it's okay.
Much improved and more unique. The style of
I think sometimes in the gacha space, I think we forget what real good-looking stuff looks like. Sometimes, don't we? You know. So we'll make comparisons to, and it's fair. We should be comparing them to other gacha games because it's a gacha game space. But I think sometimes we end up getting our view of what looks good in a game reduced a little bit. You know, it's like, well, this looks actually really good, and then you actually think about it and you look at other games. You're like, does it really though? You know, does it really? Like to me, like Wuthering Waves and Enfield, and Zenless as well, in my opinion. You know. Genshin is a game for me that's got a nice art style. It's looking a bit long in the tooth now. It's fucking 5 years old, right? But like you look at Wuthering Waves and you look at Zenless Zone Zero and you look at Enfield for me. They're games that I think are genuinely good looking games. Zenless is more leans into its art style a little bit more, but I think Wuthering Waves and Enfield are genuinely good looking games. Now they're not the tippity tops of AAA stuff, right? They're not. But they are genuinely games you can look at and compare them to other games and be like, man, that's a good-looking game, right? I think for the most part, though, most don't reach that level. They lean on their art style. That does a lot of the heavy lifting, right? Which is totally fine because, as I say, fidelity lasts for a short amount of time. Art style, in my opinion, lasts forever if it's done right, right?
Character model looks less like some of the other gacha games we have, and they've embraced a more realistic lighting style. And I'm not sure if they actually did this, but to my eyes, it kind of looks like they dimmed down the cell shading a little bit to make the characters blend a little bit more with the environments that they're in.
I mean, it looks good for a gacha game without the gacha. True, actually, yeah. True, actually, it's not a gacha game anymore, is it? So, yeah.
In my opinion, it looks really, really good. I'm a really big fan of these lighting changes, and overall, it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm always down for more realism when I'm looking at Berenica's thighs. Even the old environments, including areas like Ice Lake, look much better with this lighting change. It's not as pretty as the new region, in my opinion, but there is a level of increase that happened when the lighting changed that made it look just so much better. Also, if you...
I think it looks better, but yeah. It's not that great.
Zoom in on a character, you get this depth of field, and it really looks good with the new lighting. Now, as I mentioned before, the new region is fully multiplayer. You can see players all over the place. But in addition to that, they added some new multiplayer functionality, including the ability to team up with other players for boss fights. So if you look at the boss menu, you can see co-op enabled here, and whenever
where's
you go
the personality? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's lacking a bit, isn't he? Yeah. Again, for me, that's this whole game. It's just all right. You know, and as I say, 12 hours of all right is all right. When you want me, if you're going to expect me to do something for potentially hundreds of hours, I need a bit better than all right, I do.
Boss, I'm not going to teleport because I don't want to wait for load times, but you can actually queue up with other players in order to take these bosses down. The only thing I'd love more than being crushed between Berenica's huge thighs is for these bosses to have actual co-op mechanics in them, because even though you can co-op them, they are still pretty dang easy. But at lower levels, the co-op
mechanics are, man. It's too much to ask for, isn't it?
Functionality is going to be massively helpful. They've also made some emotes interactable. Now, this isn't something that I feel like there's a huge functionality for, but it's kind of nice if you have some friends you want to take photos with, because you can just drop an emote here, and if other players want to participate, they can go request to basically pose and flex with you. You don't want to mess with my gang. Jesus Christ. On top of all of that, the Noctoyage missions do look like they are co-opable now. You could still see the party function down here, but they appear to have added co-op functionality. If it's not to every single mission yet, it is at least added to the new ones. As you can see, we have 4 brand new Noctoyage manual missions. And to verify that they are co-op, if you go over to the location where these actually take place, co-op is enabled. So keep that in mind. Speaking of new Noctoyage,
the problem is character designs are so inconsistent. Some characters look good, others are mid, but none of them have interesting gameplay. Yeah, I agree. Like, playing the game, for me, again, nothing felt like, it was like, ooh, shit, this is a cool character, right? Of course, there's going to be characters that are the good characters. But the more time of playing in the first beta, and don't get me wrong, when I played the game in the first beta, I had fun. There is fun to be found in this game. But as I say, in terms of how much you're going to be playing it, I just don't think it gives enough of it. Again, I think it's just an all right game. Yeah, I never really found a character where I felt that, where I was just like, wow, okay. This is actually an interesting character. This is a fun kit to play around. This will be an interesting way to play the game. Again, for me, I'll go back to the thing, this game just lacks a sauce. Just lacks a sauce, man.
Missions, we got some crazy new demon wedges, and I mean absolutely insane.
And that's
Look at this.
fine.
Wings Inspo Volition, max sanity, skill efficiency, a reduction to the damage received, and skill damage when skill efficiency is high. This isn't the only one either. They've added a new resolve wedge that grants resolve to yourself and allies with a certain max sanity. Wings Inspo Resolve, which has the effect of that other one, but also is a Wings Inspo. Plain old Volition here, and 2 new Feathered Serpents wedges, one that just gives you straight up resolve, and one that's going to give you straight up skill duration. For your guys' reference, I did actually get some of these blueprints so you can see what it will actually take to make these demon wedges that are so dang strong. For example, the Wings Inspo Volition wedge will take the new Volition wedge that you can make with Pan's Inspo, and it'll also take some Siren's Wings Inspo as well. So you will need to go back and farm some of these blue wedges. It'll also take some skill materials. They are very expensive to make, and ultimately, if you're playing an Animo character as listed here, you will be replacing Wings Inspo eventually. It is a massive damage gain. However, it does have an absurdly high tolerance cost. It's worth noting that these new wedges are for Animo characters, which implies that we'll probably be getting some new wedges for other types of characters as well going forward. Other elements need buffs too, so they're probably going to get some new ones, and they might even have different effects. It's also worth mentioning that the
Alright, no worries, buddy. I'll catch you later. I just think the modding system is more interesting than any of this. Well, I can't speak to how interesting the modding system is because obviously I need to experience that, but it's not exactly a system that I find massively interesting. Again, I hate to keep repeating myself with this game. I think that's just fundamentally this game through and through, right? Yeah.
These nodes right here are overworld Noctoyager missions. This means that you will basically complete these missions in the overworld, and honestly, it is so nice to not be.
These broken wedges take like 4 times as long to grind as before unless you buy the packs. Yeah, some people was mentioning that in some of the comments I saw on Reddit as well, Reldon.
Trapped in a cave somewhere when doing missions. On top of that, they've also made chase missions even better, because before you could only do these 3 times a week and they would drop you some random demon wedge blueprints, but now they are going to actually allow you to choose one of these weekly on top of your demon wedge rewards. So when you accept the commission, you can do it 3 times a week. You get one of these Fox Hunter's Cantos, and after you have gotten that reward 3 times, you should have 15, and you can choose one of these blueprints that you want to specifically get. It's very helpful for me. Oh, hold on. There's another player. Hold on. I gotta go say hi to them. Yeah, this guy's pretty based. I bet he watches twitch.tv/Brax. He's probably already subscribed to my channel on YouTube, too. Overall, the new demon wedges and the new co-opable Noctoyager missions and chase currency is going to massively help you on your demon wedge journey. I wish you luck. In addition to all the engine upgrades, we have our day and night cycle, and it is completely adjustable by using the time cycle feature, which is available after one of the new quests. And it is really nice for doing things like screenshots or just exploring the world if you really want to be overstimulated with bright colors. On top of all of these changes, they did add a ton to the shop. Now, keep in mind this is a beta version, so some of these are a little broken, but
it's such I know it's not a gacha game, but a gacha thing, right? Of how good that looked then. You can tell by a lot of the efforts put sometimes.
Don't worry about that. All of this stuff is still in the shop. In most games, people don't ask for more monetization, but we don't have a ton of anime games where you can customize characters a lot. So a ton of people were asking for more cosmetics, and they delivered. As you can see, we have some new weapon skins that are basically just bamboo with a little panda ornament. We have some new headpieces, including these cute...
Boys, that was crazy. Insane
little
skins.
Antlers. I'm actually a huge... This is so adorable. There's some face effects, and I can only imagine what this is going to be used for. Or you can have a giant beard, which is really cool. They added a literal set of wings, which is kind of cool. And they've added an effect for when you use your helix jump. On top of that, they've added some new stuff to the Prism shop, including that one emote you guys saw me using. They've just added a ton of cosmetics, as you guys can see. And for people who like cosmetics, they will be enjoying this.
See, like for me, you know, when it comes to sort of cosmetics like that, right? Like, and games, you know, should have silly, frilly, fluffy type cosmetics and stuff. Just fuck around with, right? But like, too many games. You know, this is a thing that like Josh Strife talks about in some MMOs as well, where you start to go down this line with cosmetics for characters that are just stupid. That don't like have any contextual like link to the characters and to the world. Do you know what I mean? And they just look funky for the sake of being funky. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like I said, I'm not saying don't have those things. But sometimes games go straight into leaning into that rather than having to do some fucking badass looking stuff that kind of fits in the world. It's like, I'm not being funny, but like, what the fuck do I want a beard for my anime girl? Like, whoa, I've got a beard and a bamboo sword, you know? Let's see. A tarot card reader told my cousin to love himself and now he's banned from Burger King for life. Fuck those. It might be.
This new patch. Keep in mind, cosmetics are something where more and more will just keep getting added to the game, so your wardrobe will grow over time. Speaking of outfits and cosmetics, though, Fushu, the new character available at the start of version 1.1, has a brand new beach skin, and with the new lighting and everything, this looks incredible. If you have an anime goon cave, this is the character and skin for you. The entire thing is fully dyeable, so if you guys like changing up the colors on everything, you can totally do that. In addition to that, every single character has a new skin option, aside from just the Virgin Killer, or for the men. If you equip it on the men, their equivalent is this suit that looks honestly so sick. Everyone's going to get access to one of these for free when they log into version 1.1. Every single player gets one of these to equip on any character. And in addition to Fushu, there is Kezo as well, but he won't be available till the second half. But he looks super sick and I can't wait to play him. I'll talk about Fushu in an upcoming video because this one's already running a pretty long time, but all in all,
I wonder if he's going to reference the critiques that people have had.
Those are most of the new features added in 1.1. There's also been some optimizations and quality of life changes, but everything I talked about was sort of the major stuff. My first impressions of the 1.1 patch, though I've only had about 2 days to try this out, I think this is a huge step in the right direction. In my 1.0 review, I was pretty critical of the game, stating that there was a lot of issues with it when compared with the industry standard of what some other games that are like it are doing. And even now, a lot of those issues still persist. However, in the very first patch of the game, they've addressed a lot of issues that people had, including one of my personal biggest issues, which was there not being a lot of use for multiplayer and not being able to see other players in the world outside of just that central area. Them leaning more into the MMO-like genre is going.
So, I suppose this sometimes, though, this comes down to like the whole, you know, the age-old thing about sponsored videos. This like truly is a sponsored video, right? Which get the bag. I don't judge people for sponsored videos, but it's like, you know, it seems like, considering how much the community seems to be really on the more negative side of the fence here, he really hasn't mentioned that at all, has he?
Make this game feel a lot more alive, and all of the adjustments they did to the engine make the game a lot more appealing to actually look at. I also think that a lot of the other issues that players have had with this game are definitely being looked at and addressed, but I don't think it's entirely reasonable for every single issue that every player has to be fixed within one patch. I do think that devs truly care about this game, and they are committed to making it the best it can.
Bro, this character is giving me such Tower of Fantasy vibes. In the fact that, like, there's a lot of, like, characters in Tower of Fantasy that feel like they've got massive hands. Like, she's got some big-ass hands, bro. You know? She looks like she fucking builds houses on the weekend. You know what I mean? And she never wears fucking gloves when she's working outside. She's got some chunky knuckles here. Like they're dangerous. They're dangerous hands.
Making it the best it can be. And as you can see with 1.1, they have made massive upgrades and adjustments to basically everything in the game. So I have faith that they will continue to deliver. But do keep an eye out for my 1.1 review that I'll release later after I've had some time to play the version more. With all that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you next time.
Alright, okay. There wasn't really anything to this video, really, was there? The Reddit is on fire right now. I don't know anything about this game, but my algo is literally, it's amazing, it's over, we're so back. Sounds about right. I started Warframe and it feels so much better to play. Oh my god, I'm loving Warframe right now, just started. And weapons are still useless, stat sticks, boring. If you can't log in, it's because the maintenance was extended. Still not vibing with this main gameplay loop. I might return for 2.0 since it's not a gacha. I won't miss anything. Seeing the entirety of the new map is co-op area, that might actually explain a bug from a few weeks back when someone playing running around their ice. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Nerf the secret letter farm method on exploration. Power creeped immersive theatre already in 1.1 and now started selling $50 solution to skip the grind. 1.1 is very disappointing overall. This is not it. My money is going to where wins meat instead of DNA from now. Okay. Everything is really amazing. It really sucks at the gameplay. It's not my style. I would have loved to play it again, seeing all the posts with amazing character designs and artwork. Oh, okay. Yeah, so seems like the community's not exactly entirely happy with 1.1, right? But then again, though, in this space, when is that a thing? When are we really truly happy? But again, for me, I think it's just a kind of a mid game, really. Bit of a mid game. Not gonna lie, I'm not really into it. All right. They only made enough money to pay off one person, sadly. Excuse me. Check react real quick. Okay, let's have a look. Let me have a look. What's this? You only seen the entire video, just a brief look at everything. Okay.
Let's say you have watched someone's video on building a certain frame, whether that's me or some other creator. You pretty much just copy and pasted a build without really looking at the mods and you hop into a mission. But you don't really understand why we have modded that way. Or you just simply don't understand how to mod, so you just copy and paste. Well, this video aims to give you the fundamentals and framework so that you can mod any Warframe.
Arknights Reddit is quite chill.
Basics, what stats to look out for, how to keep yourself alive.
To be fair, I think that's what happens when a developer provides just a good game, right? Honestly, I think if you've got a pretty chill Reddit for a game, most of the time, I would say it's maybe less reflective of the community, although I do think there's large parts of the Arknights community, like most communities, are chill. I think it just reflects on what a state the game's in, right? That people are just like, man, what have I got to complain about, really?
Live, helmet options, and Archon shards. By the end of this video, I hope that you walk away feeling more confident in experimenting with the builds and changing things up.
Just look at this gameplay in comparison.
Let's begin, shall we? First, we need to look at Warframes as a whole. Warframes, by design, will usually have at least one defense.
Alright, boys. When do we start playing Warframe, then? The Arknights community is content, right? Exactly, yeah. There's not really much to be mad at, is there? You know, it's usually like what? When I pop in there, it's usually most of the time people posting fan art stuff, talking about upcoming stuff that's happening in CN. Yeah, and talking about IS runs and stuff like that.
Ability.
No.
One support ability, one offensive, and maybe
I've got it installed, boys. It is installed. We are ready to go.
It doesn't apply to all 59 Warframes. Some Warframes are full offensive with only one semi-defensive ability, or maybe they're just full support, or maybe they're just full defensive. You get the idea. They are all unique by design, which is the wonderful thing about this game because it offers you so much flexibility and freedom when it comes to modding. But the main type of ability I want to focus on is the defensive ability, as this ties into the section later on in the video where I go over how to keep yourself alive. Most Warframes, barring one or two, will always...
a bad time when you don't even have CCs making build guides for your game. Yep.
And this is prevalent.
Look, I said this when it came out, right? You know when everybody was gassing it up on launch, right? You remember? What did I say? I bet you most people won't be making content on the game in a month or two. How many people who were gassing it up as the next best thing the best thing since sliced bread are still making regular content on DNA. They're just not. You know what I mean? They're just not. There's probably people out there doing it for sure. Of course, there's going to be. But yeah, most people just ditched it. They'll say it's because of certain reasons, which it might be as well, that they've just got bored of the game. People, it seemed like there was quite a few C's desperately trying to like make the game seem like it was the thing to be playing. Nobody cared. People just didn't care. People weren't that interested. Just weren't that interested, man.
Have all the fancy steel pass mods to keep you alive, so your survivability will be reliant on the current Warframe you are playing. When you understand that most Warframes by design have pretty much the same framework, it becomes a lot easier to mod and makes it clearer for you to pick and choose the stats you want to focus on. For those who are brand new to the game and are probably sitting there wondering what are Warframe stats and all this stuff, I will go over this briefly as this video is intended for people who do have a somewhat basic understanding of the game.
Let's hear what he's got to say at the start, and then we'll check out, because obviously this is for people who are already in the game. So we've got up until what? 2 minutes 40. Let's see what he's got to say then.
Modding. There are many Warframe stats, but the 4 main ones I want to focus on are your ability stats.
Okay.
Duration. This of course affects the duration of your abilities, as
Makes
well
sense.
as the energy cost of toggled or channeled abilities.
Okay.
Efficiency, lowering or increasing the energy cost of your ability costs. Range and strength, which affects the potency of your abilities and how much damage
makes sense.
they do. We also have your health pool, shield, armor, your total energy, and sprint speed. These are pretty self-explanatory, but we will deep dive into these stats later on. And that covers a general overview of the basic design of Warframes and the stats that we need to look out for. Now, I know modding can be confusing, but if you wanted to grind Warframe survival for hours on end, but forget to eat food, don't worry.
It's like, say, when you just look at Warframe now, and then you just look at DNA, it's just a worse version, right? I think that's the problem they've come into, is they've gone into, in a sense, direct competition with the game that's got a solidified base. Just seems like it's better, right? Of course, I think there's people who play Warframe probably come onto DNA like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool, you know, like that one dude says, 2 cakes. It's just that one cake just looks like it looks better and tastes fucking better, right? You know, you're going to enjoy the other cake a little bit maybe when you're hungry, but if you got the choice, you know which fucking cake you're eating, aren't you?
For Steel Path players who have a bit more mods and knowledge in the game. How do we actually mod a Warframe or know what stats to look out for as a new player in the star chart? First, we need to look at the Warframe's abilities themselves and look at the nature of these different abilities.
Okay, so we've got enemy targets, explosion radius, initial damage, damage per second, duration, immolation meter, angle, exothermic, drop chance 15%. Command a flaming comet to crash down in front of Ember, engulfing enemies with a fire that can spread throughout their ranks.
What I mean by this is some abilities, just by looking at them, you can tell. Is this a good ability if range is scaled with it? Yes or no? Is it one that does a whole lot of damage? Then scaling strength with it would increase it even more. Is there an ability that is just a one click that buffs you for a certain duration? So you should probably scale duration to make it last longer. Sounds pretty obvious and it's common knowledge, right? But some people actually miss this step and it's quite important. My advice here is play around in the modding section by adding different mods
smooth
that
it looks in
affect
comparison
the
as well.
Ability stats. See how the abilities are affected by range, duration, strength, and
And I don't even mean performance. I just mean in terms of animation smoothness, right? You know, because I see a lot of people says that, they were like, but the game's new. Exactly. It's got, you know what, 12 years on it. Those are things that you can't say, well, it's new, so that should be worse. No, that shit should be better, right?
See how well they scale with certain stats. Some abilities.
True advice, don't look at build guys, makes the game boring.
From just a small increase to, let's say, increased duration. Because
yeah, I think sometimes, like, obviously it just depends if you're stuck. But like, yeah, I rarely do that in games because like I like to make my own mistakes, and if my build's imperfect, then it's kind of like, you know, it's your build, isn't it? It's your build, isn't it? Yeah, I was just looking at that. Fucking shit ton. Fucking 12 stack of this, whatever the fuck that is.
Base duration of the ability is already high. Or if you
is that times 250?
want to, you could go to the wiki and read up on that Warframe's ability and see how it scales accordingly. I prefer testing it in-game, that way I can actually visualize and see everything.
Oh, is that like a little test area? Enfield. Enfield. Yeah, is that what this is? Is this just like a little area to go and test out my frame? To test my shit? Is that what that is? Yeah. Yeah, man. This is what Enfield needs. This is kind of exactly what Enfield needs for me. I need a little space like this, right? Where I can fiddle around with settings. I don't know if this has that sort of settings where I can just make them stand there and basically T-pose, so I can just lamp into them just to practice offensive teams. But obviously, like in Enfield, you've got certain abilities for certain characters you need to be attacked and stuff for them to proc their ability for the energy to continue on with your battle skills or your chain skills and stuff. It'd be cool if you could just make it all right. I need them to attack me. I need them to have an infinite health so they just don't die, so I can just keep practicing. You know, like Enfield definitely need something like that. As I say, we still need to, is the survey still on Enfield at the minute? Because we need to do that on stream. That's one thing that I do want to sit down with you guys and do the survey, because that for me, I think because of the way Enfield is built around the team building, it needs something like that, doesn't it? Like, if it doesn't have it for me, I think it's a massive misstep on Hypergryph's part, because unless you're going into certain content in the game, it's kind of hard to really get an idea of like how your team works sometimes, because most of the content you're going through, that it dies a little bit too easy sometimes, right? And it's nice just to have an area where you can just go and practice team builds and tweaking stuff here and there and be like, all right, let's bring a new character in. Oh, okay, I like that. I think Enfield definitely needs something like that.
I prefer testing it in-game. That
Dummy test fields are such an underrated feature, agree.
Everything. After you have had a look at the abilities,
you can also test against the enemy in the game, yeah.
Where do I start? What on earth do I mod for first? Well, the flexible framework. And I say flexible because this does not apply to every frame.
1 month left for launch. On a few changes from CBT2 monetization might be something plausible to change. The whole game mechanic. Yeah, no. That's something that, like,
doesn't always.
It's just something I want. Like, I don't expect it on launch, but even if we get it 6 months down the line, it's just something I hope they introduce, especially as we get more depth to the team building and stuff. Yeah, again, when it comes to Enfield, I don't expect drastic changes. My one major thing, obviously, it's the gacha acquisition, you know, how much currency you can acquire by playing the game. That's one thing that I hope is improved, and they've acknowledged that, right? So we'll just have to wait and see. And I really do hope the game has an 120 FPS option as well. I'd really hope that it's got that. I can live with 60. It's not a deal breaker. It's like, give me the option, man. You know, maybe even let me take it to 165 if I choose to. I ain't really bothered about unlimited, because at that point you're just overworking your fucking graphics card and your CPU for no reason. But yeah, man, I would like to set it to 120 FPS.
But it still can. The reason for this is because in Steel Path you have access to so many more mods. You have Archon shards, augments, arcanes, and so on. There are so many combinations. It's not just a simple framework. But Steel Path aside now, we're focusing on Star Chart. Generally speaking, the framework in...
Has the game had recent visual updates? It just looks visually better than in DNA as well. It looks like the newer game out the two to me. I don't know if I'm just being biased now. Also, I feel like Warframe is much more fun as a group rather than solo. A massive amount of people seem to play Warframe purely solo. Everything's soloable, by the way. Earth Day Amia reacts. We need to check some stuff out. I ain't going to be live for much longer though, chat. Just let you know. It's like, you know, short stream today.
And then, if you have enough mod capacity, I would say adding a defensive mod, like fast deflection, if you feel like...
Okay, alright, so... We're not streaming tomorrow, obviously. We might be live Boxing Day, but I'm not going to promise anything. We'll definitely be live the day after Boxing Day, so the 27th. And we'll be live in between there and New Year's Eve. We'll be live New Year's Eve as well. Probably New Year's Day as well. But next year, we're locking in. Maybe we will start Warframe before New Year's Eve then. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe like the 28th or the 29th. We start Warframe. We check it out. We give it a whirl. As I say, obviously, we ain't going to be live tomorrow. And I plan to probably get live for Boxing Day. Or Boxing Day will probably be some Arknights and maybe a bit of Enfield, maybe. or I might just do Enfield off stream. And then say 28th, 29th, we do our first Warframe stream. I've got to have a look at my game because obviously I played it years ago, right? So I need to make sure I'm starting afresh. Because like I say, I've got about 4 hours on record. Probably paid it for less than 4 hours, if I'm honest. That might have been literally having the game open. But yeah, man. Yeah, all right. We'll do it before New Year's Eve. I'm down. I'm kind of looking forward to it, man. I'm kind of looking forward to it. So, yeah. I do want to do a little bit more of what's he, my experience with Gacha games, writing versus storytelling. Shall we have a little look at this? All right, let's have a look at this Moose on Caffeine video then, shall we? It's been a while since we watched a Moose on Caffeine video. We got ranking the most popular Gacha games of 2025, Gacha Games 2025 performance tier list. So I'm assuming, is this based on revenue? Or is this going to be based on critical reception, maybe? Moose has got some base takes, actually, when it comes to the games that he likes. So let's see what he's got to say.
Welcome back. What a year it has been for Gacha gaming. We've seen some absolutely abysmal dogshit from things like Genshin Impact, Snatlan, and the rise of some insanely peak games like Reverse 1999 and Olympus Company.
Yes.
So while I did make a top 5 Gacha games of 2025 video last month, I do also want to give my final opinion about every popular enough Gacha game's performance in 2025. Okay. So over here, I've got the most popular Gacha games in 2025, and this is the Gacha Games 2025 performance.
Bro is the biggest advocate of Battle Cats on YouTube, right?
I want to talk to you about. Creating these videos over the past 2 years has been super fun, but it's also a lot of work. So help me make more content for you by checking out Raid Shadow Legends. I'm sure you all know about it at this point. It's a fun fantasy themed turn-based.
They keep reaching out to me, man. I'm kind of just tempted to take it, man, just for the fun. Like, because I think it's just a funny fucking sponsor, man.
RPG game, all about collecting characters and fighting powerful enemies. It's got all the RPG game essentials, tons of amazing gameplay, and incredibly fleshed out endgame content. So, if you're a fan of this stuff, you're going to love it. You'll also get rewards valued at more than
Raid is the best Gacha game in your opinion. That might be my opinion as well when I do this one, Sam.
Comment. It's free, you won't regret it, and I would really, really appreciate it. Now let's get on to the content. Again, let me reiterate, I will only count 2025 performance, no feature leaks, no 2024, no 2023. The list has 5 tiers. Glaze-worthy performance for games that have completely gone beyond expectations.
We know what Arknights is going to be in there, right?
We know who, and we know who. Amazing year is for games that didn't quite blow expectations out of the water, but simply had some revolutionary performances that really stood out, and you would have been quite a loser to not play those games during this year. Unremarkable performance is for games with an unremarkable performance, and the disappointments tier is for games that did the opposite of glaze-worthy, and while they exceeded expectations, it was in the opposite direction. Genshin Impact is one such game. Holy Natlan was terrible.
Can't really comment on
while Nerdcry seems to be an
Can't comment on Genshin now. Haven't played it since 2023. Stopped it in Azuma. Again, I'm that person. I'm on there. You know, more time than I spent with Genshin. I had fun, man. I've got nothing bad to say about Genshin, I haven't.
Improvement over that dumpster fire, and while we are getting old unit buffs which should hopefully kill any meta concerns other players had, and is actually already more than Honkai Star Rail's dog-ass unit buffs, but there is nothing else to compliment about Genshin's 2025. And trust me, I really tried looking hard for something remarkable, but anything that was exciting, like characters like the members of the Hexen Circle getting revealed, it was outweighed by things like whatever the hell Astro Wonderland is, and obviously Natlan, which was most of 2025, unfortunately. I have no reason to put Genshin anywhere above disappointing. Although I do believe that in 2026 there is a pretty solid chance for Genshin to actually have an amazing year, depending on what they decide to do. We'll see in approximately 365 days when I remake this video. On the other hand, its competitor has had an amazing year. Of course, I'm talking about Wuthering Waves. While I definitely don't want to sound like a Kurobot, but Wuwa's year completely blew Genshin's out of the water, although Wuwa definitely had some issues like a few character kits and weapons here and there being badly designed, bad events for a large stretch of time, and
bro, Zane was such a fucking fumble, right? Such a fumble. Because, like, one of the most anticipated characters and now fumbled the fucking bag with their kit, man. Such an insane fucking move for me from Kuro, that was. Because, like, when we first saw the 2.0 characters showing off, right, like, everybody was simping so hard for Zane. I thought she looked good, right? But she wasn't my favorite. Like fucking Carlotta was my one that I was just like, holy shit, right? But everybody was like so into Zani. It was such a wild thing, the way they kind of fluffed her, you know? But I suppose the way she was designed, you know, probably helped the bank because she was specifically designed to, really help the sale of another character, wasn't she? Thought Nodcry was well received though. Compared Nodcry, fuck no, is that even out in Genshin? I don't even know where Genshin is. Be careful what you say here, Pix. Zani is a full type character. Zani sold so many Phoebes. True. Nodcry is well received by the players. I don't even know where Genshin's at, man. Where the fuck is Genshin even at? Like, I can't even speak on Genshin in that regard. That's why I never really speak about Genshin. I don't know what the fuck Genshin's doing, if I'm honest. I don't even know what Genshin's doing. That's why, like, I know people tell me you can't speak on Wuthering Waves, bro. But like, I've got more of a connection with Wuthering Waves than I have with Genshin. It's been so long since I played Genshin, right? And I just haven't really kept up with what's going on. So like, I don't even fucking know. It's been out for a few months, has it? Okay, all right.
With Whimpering Waste just being terrible, it definitely outweighs that with other aspects of the year, like the events we got in other stretches of time in the year, like the 2.4 Banners Never Fall event specifically, and the 2.8 events, which were actually really good. The character designs were mostly good, unlike a lot of Genshin's Natlan designs. This year was definitely the year Wuwa solidified itself as a giant in the space. This year was way more than remarkable, it was amazing. Now, Honkai Star Rail is definitely
I think the character design is massive positive for Wuthering Waves.
I quit the game this year, obviously, so I'll find it disappointing. The highlights, or I guess,
do you know what, for me,
Star
Rail is a disappointment for me where Star Rail's at and where it started to go. Because, like, again, for me, I still go back to Bellabog, man. Was like, I think Bellabog, for me, that part of HSR, I probably enjoyed that more than any of Wuthering Waves, Genshin, right? I think the only game that's like I've enjoyed as much as, if not more, has been Arknights within the gacha space I'm talking about, right? Because Bellabog was so fucking good. It was so good. So I suppose I'm a little bit more disappointed where HSR went. But again, I stopped playing in Penacon, so again, I can't really say much story-wise, right? It's more gameplay. I think I expected too much from Star Rail, because, like, Bellabog was so fucking good, man. I thought, like, it was only going to get better and better and better. You know what I mean? But I always feel like, again, I haven't played the game for a while, so I can't say this is a true statement, right? It's just, like, the way I view the game from somebody who stopped playing it is it felt like Bellabog was the peak, man. But every game has its peak, right? There's always a peak in everything, Doesn't mean that everything after that is bad, but yeah.
The Fate collab, which is probably one of the worst culture collabs of the year, where contending against
apparently I like that.
R19.
Apparently, according to commenters, I really gassed up the Fate collab.
99 x Assassin's Creed and Limbus Company x Arknights, and we expect HSR x Fate to receive a good score. Obviously, the power ceiling issue has become worse as well, and will continue to get worse with units like Dahlia that just break the game further, pun unintended. I've discussed this a billion times already.
Yeah, I don't even know where the meta is at anymore.
Content has also been super dry, although the Currency Wars event is actually really, really good. There are two things I can compliment HSR on when...
Yeah, but like when I first started playing Star Rail as well, it felt like it was the game that had the best endgame stuff as well. When I was playing it.
It comes to this year, which are the Story 3.3 and After, and the Currency Wars event. Otherwise, there's nothing that I would find remarkable, and a lot of things that I would find very disappointing, so it's a disappointment. I also have no hopes for next year. At most, it will be unremarkable, mostly also because of the politics surrounding it, unfortunately. Similarly,
yeah, it does suck.
Is one.
It is a shame. Like, it's kind of got cooked out with what's happening in the geopolitics between China and Japan at the minute, hasn't it? It's a shame.
As well. Although, I don't want to make a final judgment about this game because I have been hearing loads of good stuff about the recent updates, and I would love to try it out again soon. So, while most of its 2025 performance has been disappointing, I am looking forward to see what it does with 2026. Looking at Zenless Zone Zero next, while I do think the game itself is really, really good, its performance in 2025 has been completely unremarkable. No collapse to speak of, a really boring story, pretty bad character design from where I stand, but at least the gameplay experience is really good.
Damn. I really like ZZZ's character design, man. Now, again, I haven't played properly since 2.0, right? But for me, like, I like Zenless, man. I think Zenless gets far too much hate. And I actually genuinely think it's kind of underrated. Like, you know, there's a lot of gacha games that get overrated, right? But I genuinely think ZZZ is kind of underrated, I do. I don't get all the hate it gets. You know what I mean? Like, because I see it across the board. So many people shit on ZZZ, and I'm like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it, man. Yeah, I think it deserves a bit more love.
Let me put it this way. ZZZ definitely disappointed nobody this year. However, it's just nothing remarkable. It's nothing like Hua or the games above it on the list. Similarly,
because like for me as well, Zenless, one aspect that Zenless has done well at since launch, in my opinion, is like events. I think they're probably one of the strongest games in the space in that regard. I think they do a really good job with events and stuff.
All Legends.
And I do genuinely think it is probably related to the fact that it's a Huyo game, right? I think if ZZZ wasn't a Huyo game, I swear it'd get more love. Now, I'm not accusing Moose of like, well, that's the only reason he's not gassing it up so much. But I mean in general, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm being biased there, but I do. And this is coming from somebody. I'm not one of those people. I can't give a fuck. I don't see Huyo as the devil, or I don't see them as the next best, the next fucking coming of Jesus, you know what I mean? Because end of the day, it's just a company. If they give me good stuff, I'll enjoy it. When they don't give me good stuff, I don't enjoy it, right? But yeah, I do. I feel like if it came from another company, I think it genuinely probably would get a little bit more glaze.
Just the same old, I guess. My friend Zen has been trying
to
convince me
true.
that recent updates are good, but I'm just gonna put it in unremarkable to rage bait them. Before we get to the upper tiers, I will also add Ethera Restart.
You also don't like ZZ? That's fair.
Because this game failed to meet 99% of player expectations and ended up with a pretty half-baked product that very little players are.
What are we on here? Ethera Restart. Okay.
Enjoying. This game was supposed to be the future of gacha PvP.
Yeah, man. The excitement was real for this game, right? I remember playing the beta and being like, fuck, I think I'm really going to get into this game. And the curse of gacha PvP carried over, right?
But no, it's pretty mid. Also, Tower of Fantasy, because it's definitely OSing in a couple of years, I can feel it. I mean, out of complete honesty, putting this game right here in a tier with any other game is an absolute insult to every other game. No, removing the gacha did not help. Actually, there we go. Now let's get to the really praiseworthy games. First off, one of the newest gacha games, Chaos Zero Nightmare. While I actually already quit this game, it is not because of anything like bad content, bad gameplay, or bad story. The game has incredibly fun gameplay, and the story has a lot of potential, and it already is super huge in the gacha market. However, it has RNG gear, and as soon as I experienced a glimpse of it, I just wanted to go jump off a bridge. Chaos Zero Nightmare is an amazing future, and has already had an amazing year, but I'm not going to be experiencing it because I'm not about to play the gameplay equivalent of bashing your head off
CZN's a great game.
Wall repeatedly ever
also, RNG gear.
Also had some great updates this year. Specifically, the summer event was really good. I mean, there's not much else to say. It just did what it does every year, just much bigger. And now let's get into the glaze-worthy gacha games of 2025. Starting off to nobody's surprise, the mobile game of the year, Uma Musume Pretty Derby. Deserved win, nothing else to say. They have the most addictive gacha package known to man, and it worked very well. They have amazing story.
See, like for me, right? Yeah, I know some people will disagree heavily here because I know we've got some Pretty Derby fans. I think this is a great game. It is. And for a small amount of time, I really enjoyed it. It's just not for me. It took me a week or two to realise. I was just like, yeah, Umusume is just not for me. Do you know what I mean? It is a great game. I can objectively look at it, right, and say, it's a good game. It is. But it's just personally not for me, right? It's just one of those things. I just because I am not into it, I'll never stand there and go, yeah, game sucks, because I just don't think it does. It's just doesn't connect with me, really. It's, you know, it happens, doesn't it, sometimes?
Stories, super addictive gameplay, but unfortunately, it's just not for me because I only really care about combat gachas. Limbus Company has had one of the best tiers that topped the charts on Steam, and most importantly, had a collab with Arknights, which was simply absolute peak. They added the extreme mirror dungeons to band-aid the bad endgame situations for a while, and it seems our Lord and Savior KJH wants to add more endgame content. I would love for that to be the case because it would be just even more opportunities for Olympus Company Glaze. Definitely a glaze-worthy game. However, I never expected to like the next game
Merry
as much
Christmas
as
to
I
you
do.
as well.
Reverse 1999 hit me like a truck with how good it is. As soon as I started this game about
this collab was fucking awesome.
a month ago, I fully fell in love, and honestly,
collab
I
was
would
awesome.
even say it's getting close to Arknights and Battle Cats and how
Honestly, this was one of my favorite collabs. I think they did a really good job with this collaboration. It was, and this is a game that's just gorgeous. It's just fucking gorgeous, right? Aesthetically, I think it might be the best in the space from an art point of view. Like, it's just, man, game, it's fucking beautiful. It really is.
I even like it more than Limbus Company. If you're someone who's here for the Arknights and Limbus Company Glaze, you absolutely have to try out Reverse 1999. It's had amazing updates this year, like the War Room and the Reveries in the Rain, and the Assassin's Creed collab. It's super
combat-wise, obviously, it's got nowhere near the depth of something like Arknights. But it's a great game. It's just a great game. It's just worth checking out, man. I really do. I can't advocate enough for you to check out Reverse 1999. It's not going to be for everybody, because I'm sure you'll get into the combat and be like, yeah, it's ain't for me, but it's such a gem. It's such a gem.
To be friendly, the gear system is barely RNG, if at all. Keep going, Reverse 1999 devs, because I will definitely be glazing this game next year as well. And of course, Battle Cats and Arknights are also in this tier as well.
Let's go.
Arknights is mostly here because of the Masses Travels event, one of the biggest highlights of the year with Lemu and Exu,
Bro,
as well as the very recently released.
It don't even need to mention the events for me, man. You know? It's just peak. It's just peak.
Integrated strategies iteration. Arknights continues to have peak content. Battle Cats also had amazing content this year, like a Bucky collab, and the 11th anniversary
Shit,
is
it had a
probably
Bucky
even better
collab.
than
Okay.
the 10th. And finally, Enfield is also in this tier, because I am absolutely...
Boys, we got a good in here. We got a good in here, lads. We got a good in. We somebody knows quality. Somebody knows quality here. To be fair though, like I say, man, we know Moose has got base takes, man, when it comes to gacha games, in my opinion. Again, maybe the bottom end of the tier. I can't really quote because I ain't played them games this year, but yeah, Reverse 1999, great. Arknights, yes. Enfield, yes. You know, Limbus as well. What that we've played of it is still an amazing experience. What I experienced the first couple of hours of the game, which we are going to continue doing that as well.
In love with this beta currently, and I'm definitely ready to glaze it when it drops on January 2nd of 2026. It will definitely be the #1 of my best gacha games of 2026 video. I am calling it right now.
Let's go.
And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future. Enjoy the expression.
We will be there. Apparently, though, I don't actually like Arknights or Enfield. I saw some people saying that as well. Bro, just wasn't happy with the views he was getting on Wura, so he decided to pivot and start shitting on Wura for the Arknights fandom. It's like, cause yeah, that's, you know, that's because that's exactly what they want, right? It just happens to be, shucks, shock horror, a good fucking game, right? Who'd have thought? You can't stop playing that game for something else. There's no way you can. No way. What? You can't like other games more than that. You're supposed to quit the other games for this. Like, come on, bro. Yeah, man. Again, as somebody who glazes the fuck out of Arknights all the time, man, I'm here for that list. Enfield as well. I'm here for it. Again, special mentions for Reverse 1999 because that's another game for me that I think is incredibly underrated. We said ZZZ feels like it's overhated and slightly underrated. No, I don't think Reverse 1999 is hated in any metric, but he's incredibly underrated. Actually, ridiculously underrated, that game. And it's because of the gameplay loop, right? I get it. But man, it's another game for me that's like Arknights, right? A lot of people look at it and go, what the fuck? And until you play it, you know, it just opens your mind. Yeah, good list. Base takes. Here, guys, check a bit of Lappy. Nasty. Boys. I need to get Rosie to dress up as Lapland. I gotta do something. I don't know how I'm gonna encourage you to do so, but I gotta make it happen, man. I gotta make it happen. Alright, should we have a look at the Resonator showcase for Linnae then, shall we, guys? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's be careful what we say now, okay? Let's be careful what we say, all right? We'll tiptoe around this one, okay? We'll tiptoe around it. Let's have a little look then, shall we?
What now?
Why don't you dress up as Laplands? Ain't nobody want to see that. Yo, what's up, Rory?
Sorry.
Do you know one thing I do like about this, though? I do like the, Horizon Zero Dawn, mechanical animals. I think that's kind of sick, actually.
Morning.
Still not sold on her design. Did she just hack that?
Cool it, big guy.
Wait, I'm confused. Did she hack that? Did she do that? This is an opportunity to just vandalize it. What's going on there? Cool, let's get him. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you as well.
You're late anyway. You might as well show us how you mod bikes. Not today, sorry. Attendance on the line. Another one? Huh? What's wrong? Nothing. Come on, let's go. Time's ticking. Look, the newest bike model. Where? I don't see anything. Sorry, false alarm.
Did you hear anything just now?
Nope.
All research at Star Torch Academy is under top-level classification. The transfer of confidential information in any form is strictly prohibited. Any student...
That effect looked cool, though.
Drop something under the desk.
Guys, we're Rover's going back to school, though, as well, right? You know? I know, we're just like 12,000 years old or something.
Show me how to sneak in like that.
That's...
Lene, my office after class.
Oh. Yes, ma'am.
As I was saying, any
Biggs cosplayers lappy, there'd be more than
Emails.
land with those I never miss leg day quads.
And note that this would be the
Fucking tampon strings for legs.
Again? You... Why are you... How much longer do you plan to indulge in this children's play? Has all the schoolwork slowed you down already? Look at you now. Do you even remember who you are?
That's kind of slick.
You don't belong here, and you know it.
That's what she says to Rover.
One day you'll pay your dues. Shut up! My place! It's right here! A stolen life cannot escape its end.
We dropping frames? We shouldn't be. I'm not dropping frames on my end.
I love this place. Staying here is my
What is the stream?
choice. Still lost in your dream? Choice.
I don't know. Should be right. I'm not dropped any frames.
Had one.
I don't know.
Henshin a go-go, baby. What's good, guys?
Dude, I look like an anemic flamingo with my gut and twigs on legs. Yeah, I don't know. Was the stream looking a bit Oh, the trailer. Okay, all right. I thought it was the actual what's it? Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes they will, won't they? Like, what is it? Is it 24 FPS is considered the cinematic experience, right? This is why, like, you know, when you have some films that are in high FPS, looks weird, doesn't he? Should we have a look at this video then? Should we have a look at this? This one appeared in did somebody stick this in React Smash or did I just find this on my feed? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I ain't really got much to say about that, if I'm honest. It's just cinematic anyway. Yeah, you know. you know, it is what it is. Yeah. You know, she looks a bit like Belle. A little bit, yeah. A little bit. If Belle was less interesting. I don't care what anybody says, yeah. Belle, for me, is one of my favourite protagonists in Gacha. I think she's fucking brilliant, man. I really like her. Am I getting the Amir skin? I've been saying I should do it for the culture, yeah, because I can't even use Amir because she's E2, right? How much is it? How much is the skin? $24. Yeah, maybe I'll get it then. Maybe I'll get it. Wait, when can I when can I buy it till? 24 Robbies and arm and a leg for you. Hey, stop pocket watching me, man. At least, well, true, yeah, for the main screen, yeah, fair. You see that AAA Mario game vid? Nah, I didn't, was that? Not even using it, I don't know. Till January 22nd. Okay. Nah, no gameplay today. No gameplay today. Just chatting and chilling for a little bit. We'll probably Boxing Day. If not Boxing Day, definitely the 27th. 20th. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this video. Yeah, I can't remember if somebody shared this in React Smash or this was just on my feed. Can't remember. But this video caught my eye, though. This is from Maybe Not Mike. And my experience with gacha games, writing versus storytelling. Which, yeah, I'm interested, man. Because I think sometimes, we'll have to see what he's specifically talking about here. A lot of people talk about storytelling as if it is the story as well. Sometimes where some games can have great stories, great premises, and then the fumble on the storytelling. And obviously, there's forms of storytelling as well that some people are just not into as well. Not just specifically how well it's told, but the format it's told in as well. Some people just can't be getting down with storytelling through the medium of novels, right? Such as, you know, Arknights, Reverse 19. And there's levels to those as well, where there's voice acting and animation and stuff like that to your Wuthering Waves, Enfield, Zenly Zone Zero experience as well. But I think we're probably getting more into the nitty-gritty of actual the way stories are told here rather than the format they're in, right? So, yeah, let's check this video out then. We'll drop it a preemptive like, and, yeah, let's see what he's got to say.
Being introduced to the Fate universe when some...
Let me bring that right back. I feel like we missed something.
I distinctly remember being introduced to the Fate universe when some friends convinced me to read the Fate Stay Night visual novel, like, a month before I started university. And although it took me way too long to actually finish reading through it, it was all I could think about. I would often geek out with friends about the world building, the various systems, the characters, the fights, and amidst all that, UFO Table's animation of...
Much prefer writing over storytelling. Yeah, I think, end of the day, as somebody who can enjoy reading, as long as the story is good, right? Now, depending on how it's put across and not so much its format, but how well it's brought to you can definitely be a factor. But yeah, like I say, man, my favourite story in Gacha at the minute. No, it's right. A lot of people just won't be able to get into that because of the way it's told, right?
Fate Zero came along to mesmerize and traumatize all of us. It was a great time. And later on, it was announced that they were working on an adaptation for Unlimited Blade Works, which had all of us over the moon.
Let's talk about the moon.
You be quiet about the moon.
But then something happened. Right before the first episode was scheduled to air, they revealed that they've been working on a new project that would forever change how I viewed video games.
Okay.
Fate Grand Order. Although the 2-minute trailer was fairly bare bones and didn't show any gameplay, Sakamoto Maya's narration coupled with the now iconic main theme had all of us enthralled. And all we knew was that it was a mobile game, something none of us expected. And right after the first season of the anime had ended, the game launched. In Japan. So we had to live vicariously through people uploading videos onto YouTube, which was honestly still kind of exciting. And we would only have to wait 2 years until they announced the NA version, which
bro was
everyone
locked
fully
in.
expecting.
Bro was locked in.
I still remember that very summer, I immediately got my hands on a brand new iPhone SE, installed the game the moment it was available, and didn't get to play the game because my friends introduced me to the world of re-rolling. So instead, we spent like 2 weeks trying to get our...
Still yet to do that. I just re-rolling, just, you know. I know that's like a thing that some people do. I know that's a thing that some people will like spend hours, sometimes even days re-rolling in a game, then to just sack the game off after like a week. Yeah, man. When it comes to like actual re-rolling, like actually re-rolling in gacha games, I just get what I get. If it's not the best, fuck it. Most games anyway, you can usually guarantee it ain't really going to make much difference to your account anyway, you know what I mean?
Gilgamesh, Waver, and Tamamo. I did eventually end up with MP2 Gilgamesh and a Tamamo, but I would get Waver for 4 entire years, so that was cool. Anyway, the gameplay was fairly engaging, the amount of viable characters and teams were staggering, and the grind was tedious, but I've
heard that with FGO, right? Again, I've played a very little amount of it. I'm talking like an hour maybe, right? On mobile as well, and I rarely enjoy playing games on mobile unless it's Arknights or CZN. I've heard that though. Atrocious gacha system, right? Apparently. But a like meta that just you ain't got to worry about characters really. You can kind of just go through the game with what you start off with and just build through your account, and you're never going to really be struggling for content. Apparently, I believe that's true, right? Which, you know, again, like when we talk about like gacha systems in a vacuum, sometimes, right? You got to look at the gacha system, but then look at a currency acquisition from playing the game, costs of things, and meta as well, right? But yeah, apparently that's true, right? You don't really need to worry about your squad so much in this game. You can just literally go through the game with whatever, which is good.
My adult life playing MMOs, so it's kind of used to it by then anyway. Ultimately, the key part for me was the story. Now, FGO had the benefit of many prior works having done a lot of the world building already, so it didn't need to do a whole lot to introduce the setting, the systems, all the rules, which allowed them to immediately throw you into familiar territory. Fuyuki City, the setting of
world
Fate
building
Stay
is done
Night.
for him.
Kind of, except not, whatever. My point is that while the storytelling was done in a familiar visual novel style in a familiar setting, the added gameplay did a lot to get me immersed into the game itself. Although it wasn't really until Camelot and Babylonia that I was actually hooked onto the main story, the various events and side content did keep me logging in regularly. And after the climactic ending, the Lost Belts came along, and that shit was a game changer. Literally, the writing quality had improved over the years, sure, but it really suddenly felt like a completely different game. I will admit I've since dropped the game after having finished Lost Belt 6, but man, let me tell you, that shit was peak.
Stop right there, bro. If you're not playing the game anymore, you're not allowed to talk on it. Them's the rules. I didn't make them up. But them's the rules. If you stop playing, that's it now. Your opinion is null and void.
To this day, I still...
Unless you're glazing, of course.
...think about the scenes with Orion and Artemis in Atlantis, Kirstari in Olympus, and Muramasa in Avalon. Absolute fucking cinema. But the thing is that writing and storytelling are two very different things. Writing is more of a skill, a craft, an ability to communicate ideas and concepts to the reader, while storytelling is more so an art form in the sense that no matter how intriguing your story is, if it's not done in a manner that consistently engages the reader, then the twists and turns either won't have any impact or just never happen because they've already stopped reading it. And in that regard, I do think the storytelling was done relatively well in FGO. But due to the nature of the setting, there's a constant need...
I'll say, like, that's one positive I always hear about FGO. People are like, yeah, the story's fucking great.
To introduce
the
different
picture situation is crazy
from various backgrounds, which then leads to a growing number of opposing perspectives. But there's only so much story they can tell in each section, and then the pacing of the story may suffer, and then the tension just keeps building and takes way too long to resolve.
Like, obviously, I don't know specifically about FGO, but I know a lot of older games that were specifically designed around mobile had an inherent technical restriction in regards to storytelling because you just couldn't have that much storytelling or story and writing injected into the game because of just from a technical aspect. They could only give you so much text in a sense. so a lot of stuff got condensed and cut down. Now, obviously, with this game being like 10 years old now, I don't know if that really suffered from that as much. But like when you go back to older mobile games, like you go back to like even older RPGs back in the day, you know, stuff had to be condensed and squashed down a little bit, right? Because they just didn't have the space for whether it be reams and reams of text or audio, you know. Specifically, I'm thinking like when you go back to like PS1, you know, a lot of audio had to be like really condensed to sound a certain way because it just couldn't fit into the actual games themselves, right?
It's all a balancing act that unfortunately is incredible.
Again, don't get me wrong, I love the story in Arknights, right? I've really been like, for me, the story is brilliant. The world building is sublime in Arknights, but there's no doubt if it had like reverse 1999's story telling, like the vehicles told through with the extra L2D work and the voice acting, it would. There's no doubt about it, man. Like, I don't know, some people like to be able to read stuff and enjoy it like a book. Totally fair. It'd be cool if you could just switch it on and off. Because I know like some people really just enjoy reading, right? And they love to make the voices up in the head and all that sort of stuff. And I get that, because that is the beauty of reading books, right? Because when you read a book, you know, you create the world, don't you? Yeah, man. Yeah. I'd love it. But again, it's why we're going to get a much smaller story and experience in Enfield, because your voice there, you're just not going to be able to have as much, right? Because the vast scope of it is kind of only allowed by the fact that the game's told in the way it's told, right? Because just imagine the cost for voice actors that would be in that game and animators and stuff. It'd be insane, wouldn't it?
It'll be subjective. No story will truly be able to appeal to everybody, and sometimes as a reader, you're forced to either acknowledge that fact and trudge through the less exciting portions of the story, or weigh your options and figure out if you care enough to continue reading at all. If you've played games like Genshin, Star Rail, or Wuthering Waves, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. There are plenty of exciting moments in each of their stories, all kinds of lore reveals, exciting boss fights, memorable cutscenes.
Very nature of a live service game, right? You're having to kind of stretch and squeeze stories to fit, you know, patch loops and patch timing and stuff, aren't you? You know, so you're always going to have those moments. And a lot of stories suffer from that anyway at some point, right? Where even the best of the best stories, it's like, wait a minute, these last couple of chapters weren't as good as the previous chapters. And sometimes that's kind of needed as well at the same time, right? I think in storytelling, you know, like those, like the lulls, the quiet before the storm moments kind of like elevate those moments in stories as well.
But those moments are often short-lived, and sometimes you have to go back and ponder on
made a post on
the 5 hours of
right.
exploration, exposition, and dialogue was worth those very moments. Which is why pacing is the big one that most people have a problem with. Honkai Star Rail is, in my opinion, one of the biggest offenders in that regard. The world building is incredibly meticulous, yet vast. The setting is still largely full of holes, but still intriguing. The characters are a mixed bag, but in my opinion, a net positive overall. But the pacing of the story is a mess. There is so much unnecessary fluff in the dialogue that it's really hard to maintain interest, even during key parts of the story. What should be a tool to get the reader attached to the characters, invested in the story, and immersed into the setting, often feels like it's just trying to meet some arbitrary word count requirement without adding anything remotely substantial. When used in moderation, the use of casual interactions between characters is an important tool to convince the reader that bonds are being formed, developed, or tested to humanize the cast. When it's 5, 6, 7 scenes in a row, you can't help but feel like the writers are desperately trying to force you to become emotionally invested in a way that doesn't feel organic, which can then break the illusion and reveal that these are just one-dimensional characters that they're trying to sell you on, figuratively and literally. And while we're here, another issue I've come across is the passage.
Again, I think that's just the very nature of a live service gacha game, right? In one, they don't necessarily sometimes have the time to build up that connection because of the way that they've got content planned for characters to sell at this particular point, and then they end up kind of fluffing it out to actually attempt to do that in a quicker time period to make you get that sort of parasocial connection with the character. that it often like just feels a little bit forced, doesn't it? And then that character just gets thrown away into the trash after the fact as well. So it's like it was all for naught, you know, it was all for naught, if you will. Like it didn't feel like it was deserved anyway. And then it's just cast aside, like, you know, like Woody, you know, like, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Of time in a broad sense. For example, there are some scenes where a lot of things happen and you're shown various groups of characters interacting with each other. But then 2 hours of exploring and reading later, you discover that all of this happened in the span of like 10 minutes. And other times we fight a group of enemies and then we get hit with a black screen with white text telling us that 3 entire days of defending the town have suddenly passed. Huh? When? I didn't do that. Granted, the perception of time is really hard to nail in narrative experiences like these, as opposed to an action-adventure RPG where you're running through fields fighting hordes of enemies to get to your next quest objective, while your party members argue over the morality of a man cheating on multiple women. If you know, you know.
Like, this is the thing that I definitely want to see in like Enfield, right? I've said this, you know, this sort of like storytelling that can happen on the fly, like contextual storytelling, like where characters will start to have conversations as you're doing like a story beat, if you will. You know, like you go start a quest, you've got to go to this area to do whatever you've got to do. And on the way, there's points where the game focuses into a specific area. And while in that area, you get these like contextual additions on the fly as you're playing the game that really brings you into the world, you know, of like, oh, okay, you know, as you're just wandering through this area and it's purposely done in a specific area where maybe there's no enemies and you're just traversing a little bit of an area where maybe you're just doing a bit of, you know, climbing up some things and going down a particular path. And it's there specifically to focus you into those conversations that gives you that little bit of addition to the story. I hope that's something that a lot of these games, I'd like them to do more. You know, and that's one thing that we see in a lot of AAA games, right? You know, where you've got a bit where you're having to pass through this area where characters are having to squeeze through a little thing and they're having a little back and forth, and it really adds to the story, right? Rather than the characters just stopping and it being a bit of a flat conversation that doesn't feel like it's really happening. You know, I hope that's something that like Hypergryph really builds into Enfield, and it's something we see throughout the game, because I think it's a really good thing to have in games. I do, and it makes those little moments. I don't know. I like it. I do like it. It makes them feel like a real cast of characters in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Another example is the sense of urgency. There are so many moments where characters will just stand there calmly talking to each other for like 10 minutes, right in front of a pack of enemies, blankly staring at them in the middle of a world-ending crisis that they're supposedly tasked with stopping. Not exactly the right time to reminisce about that one time your professor...
Bro, that's why sometimes in games, you know, like real-world conversations are brilliant. You know, like we're in a game, like a character will get set on fire, and then you'll go into a dialogue scene and the character will be burning, or like an animal or something like that will come up behind and just take out the character in the dialogue scene, like all of that sort of stuff. Obviously, I'm not expecting that in Gacha games, but it's just fun.
Embarrass a classmate in front of your peers. And that's what I mean by writing versus storytelling. Some of these interactions can be important for
Merry Christmas to you as well, Bewa.
But
Merry Christmas to you.
Everything, and dropping the wrong lines at the wrong moments can so easily break the reader's suspension of disbelief and really pull them out of the story. And all of this is such a shame, because I did really enjoy the setting and story of Amphorius, but due to the terrible pacing, I could never get as fully invested as I wished I could until the very end, which by at that point, it was almost too late. In a similar vein, Wuthering Waves had quite a few problems with this in Huanglong. The writing was half decent, but it spent most of its time teaching you about the setting and not nearly enough time with character development. We started with so many questions, and instead of looking for answers to them, we were just given a different set of questions that took precedence due to an alleged impending disaster. This was largely improved in Black Shores, and was actually flipped entirely in Renacida, where it focused heavily on its characters while only giving you snippets of the overarching plot. Not exactly what I had in mind, but the main plot itself wasn't overly complicated, so I think it was the correct move as far as story goes. That said, the lore reveals involving the rover and their past self were genuinely more interesting, and the rest of Renaissita did kind of just feel like a side quest to me. But fortunately, or unfortunately, I was already pretty invested in a lot of the characters, so I didn't mind it as much. Though as a side note, I think the climax of the final chapter was a little too campy for my tastes, and the pre-rendered cutscenes definitely broke my immersion quite a bit, but the final cinematic was hype as fuck, so I'll forgive it. All of that said, I'm gonna come clean. I don't think any of these games even hold a candle to the combined writing and storytelling of games like Arknights, Punishing Grey Raven, and even Xenozone Zero.
Based. Okay. See, again, as somebody who like stopped playing PGR or like chapter 10, really when it was starting to get actually good, but it was just because I just didn't have time. I really like the setting as well of PGR. I think it's actually like, in essence, really, PGR is fucking like robo zombies, right? You know what I mean? When it comes to like the punishing virus, in a way. But yeah, I do like the I actually do really like the storytelling in PGR and for ZZZ as well. Hey, I gotta say it, you know? Again, for me, underrated, overhated game, man.
Each of these games blended everything together in a way that a lot of other games failed to do.
I'm getting acknowledged. I'm curious what she's got to say about ZZZ actually here, because it's like you've heard me talk about this quite a lot, especially through like up through like 1.4 of ZZZ. For me, man, the story and the way characters are brought in and out as well, I just found super engaging. I did. Plus, I think as well, not to knock the story here at all, but like the cutscenes do an insane amount of heavy lifting because they're just that fucking good.
Each of the main acts are broken up into several episodes, and a lot of the earlier ones are definitely full of wordy exposition, but to me, it felt like it always pulled me back into the setting at the right moments, just in time for each climax to come.
A lot of people said this to me, like, when we first started Arknights, man, just get past the first couple of fucking acts and chapters, like, you know, the first few hours of the game, you know, it's a bit rough. And obviously that's fine opinion to have, but for me, as soon as we got into Arknights, I was like, oh, shit, oh, I kind of like this, you know? Like, I never really had that feeling of, not being interested. I was into it straight away.
Crashing in. One downside, however, if you could call it that, is that the world of Arknights is immense. And you'll probably want to sift through past events if you want to get the full picture. Otherwise, you'll likely be missing key details regarding certain characters and factions, especially the intermezzi chapters.
Yep.
Thankfully, there is an entire timeline, as well as resources to help you figure out what to read and when, but it is kind of a lot. On top of all that,
I will say that if you have to throw a negative out there for Arknights in that regard, right? And don't get me wrong, there is parts of Arknights that do get a little bit slow, and they are a little bit like, okay, we can kind of move on. It's not perfect, but it's incredibly overwhelming, right? It is. When you look at everything in Arknights, and I'm not even talking about the gameplay, I'm just literally talking about the story. It is so overwhelming. The amount of times I'm like, wait a minute, so when should I do this? I'm asking people in chat, so should I do this in between this chapter and that chapter? When should I start attempting to do this? It's incredibly overwhelming just because of the pure amount of stuff that's in the game. It's actually ridiculous.
I feel like there are way too many characters to keep track of, and it's really easy to get lost in the setting if you're not taking notes. Usually it's not a problem since each region's stories are...
There is quite a few times where like I get to a point, I'm like, wait a minute, what happened with this person now? And I have to take a moment, and sometimes chat will reference someone. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that now.
Largely self-contained, but when they interact with the Rhodes Island during certain story sections, it can be difficult to keep track of when this is all happening, who's an ally, who's a bad guy, have you even met these people yet? Again, it is kind of a lot, but they largely do a good job of filling in the missing details if it's relevant to the story. As for PGR, they release full chapters with each update that tell a complete story while mainly focusing on one character or faction, so it can be a mixed bag depending on how quickly you can sympathize with the characters involved. But since the chapters are largely self-contained, you get a full package experience that doesn't suffer from making you wait several updates for the story to resolve.
I love PGR setting as well.
The pace of each chapter moves quickly, but have enough substance to get you acquainted and comfortable with the characters. The passage of time also feels somewhat natural going from chapter to chapter, especially since you'll often see familiar faces as the stories progress. Additionally, the devs have also rolled out an update that basically summarizes the early chapters of the game, so you can effectively skip them and dive right into the good stuff, so that's cool. I did personally enjoy reading through them just to learn about the setting and characters, but you can really tell they're from much older versions of the game, so take that into consideration.
I mean, that's
and finally, we can move on to Zenless Zone's era.
Okay, I'm interested to see what he's got to say.
Now, I don't think Zenless's writing is particularly extraordinary, but the way it does its storytelling is almost perfect in my opinion.
Okay.
One key part is...
I'm curious to see what he's got to say, because I think we kind of agree here. I've said this, like, the storytelling is easy. Again, and not even just talking about the cutscenes here, but it does so much heavy lifting.
That the main characters, Wise and Belle, are their own characters. They each have...
Belle, W, I don't care what anybody says, man. One of my favourite gacha protagonists, man. She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Their own quirks and personalities, and they're both present in the story at all times, which I think that's a better job of drawing you into the setting than a silent self-insert character like many other games utilize.
Agree.
Next, the usage of free roam, visual novel, and comic book styles also keeps things fresh and engaging. And despite the growing number of factions, the entire cast of characters really feel like they're a part of a moving, lived-in world.
Yeah, agree with that as well. I think they do a really good job of that. Even just down to little things of, like, you know, characters being dotted around areas sometimes. You feel like you're in a world where these people live. They're from these areas. Yeah, I'm agreeing with everything he's saying here about ZZZ.
Especially with how often they make cameo appearances when suitable.
Agree.
And last...
I said this as well before. Like, I don't know why so many gacha games do that. I get it. They're trying to sell characters, and once that character's banner's gone, they've got no reason to keep bringing the character up, because what's the fucking point? Because it ain't selling them shit. But I wish more games did that, right? You know, treat the characters with a little bit more respect, and treat the audience with a bit more respect of, you know, don't just throw them in the trash once the banner's gone. Bring them back. Oh, it makes the world feel so much more immersive. And I think it also builds you up for fucking things like reruns as well, man. And I think it just makes the whole thing more engaging in general for me personally. And I'm more likely to pull as well, with that being said.
The dialogue, casting, and voice direction in this game are amazing.
Yep.
Thanks in part due to its more modern urban setting, most of the characters are going to feel more familiar and relatable. Although sometimes they do go a little overboard with pop culture references and trendy lingo. I personally find it mostly endearing, with a few exceptions. And naturally, it's hard to compare the visual novel style of games like Arknights, PGR, and FGO to one using 3D models like Genshin and Wuthering Waves. Yeah. For the former, word count will naturally be much higher since they have to describe the scenes as they happen, but when the exposition goes...
Also, that can, right? Not just because they have to describe things that are going and have to give you a bit more exposition because they're having to say it rather than see, but also it gives them that freedom to, you can dial everything up to 11, can't you? Because you don't have to then worry about animating it all and getting voice actors to act it all. You can have the most epic of epic scenes and it to be, you know, this huge arc that's world spanning and introduces so many elements and angles and characters and stuff because you've just got the freedom to do that because it's words on a page almost, right? And a few PNGs of characters and you're good to go. Whereas with a game like this, obviously, it's ultimately going to be smaller just from a technical standpoint, right?
On for too long, it can easily bring the reader out of the very scene they're painting. While for the latter, it can kind of be challenging to convince the reader that these 3D models are, in fact, interacting with each other and not just doing default poses in front of each other. Which is why I think Zenless does it best by utilizing a combination of methods, especially since even their visual novel sections utilize very expressive 3D models anyway.
Yep.
As a side note, it also frustrates me when dialogue gets cut off in free roam sections just because you walk into the next zone. That goes for most 3D games, actually. It's more of a pet peeve than anything.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens so much, right? Your characters will be having a conversation, like you find yourself doing that in a lot of games. And this goes into AAA games and everything as well, right? There's a little bit of dialogue that's going on. This is interesting what they're talking about. And you find yourself like, I've got to stop and stand still because if I go too many steps now, I know something's going to interrupt the conversation and it's not going to kick back in again, or it's going to kick back in at a point where I'm just about to do something else and then it's lost forever kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get around that, I suppose, though, really.
But it'd be nice if they made it clearer when a cutscene is about to trigger.
That's fair.
I will say I've also heard great things about games like Girls Frontline, Olympus Company, and Counterside. Admittedly, I haven't gotten around to playing them, and I don't know if I ever will, especially with Enfield right around the corner. but maybe one day when I'm caught up on everything. Anyway, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching and listening. This more or less serves as a pilot episode and resume for gacha game content, and I'd love to hear about your experiences and
you're entering the lion's den, buddy.
opinions about the ones you've played. This was also all to set up a series where I'll be rating all the gacha games I've played this far to find out which ones are still worth playing and which ones I should probably drop from my rotation in favor of other ones. But until then, take it easy out there. Hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Okay. Oh, it was a good video. I like this. I'm subbing to this guy. I'm going to sub to this guy. Okay. I'm assuming that he's like, he doesn't do gacha content then, from what he was saying? And he's more, or is it just a setup for new content? Okay. All right. We will definitely be interested in some other videos we got to put up then. Yeah, I like this. It's enjoyable. I like having these conversations sometimes when we talk about like writing and storytelling, because like I say, sometimes in this space we can be really surface level with this is peak, right? You know, an aura moment happens and all of a sudden it's the best thing since sliced bread. You know, we see that so much in this space, right? You know, like a cutscene will happen and people will be like, man, that is just this story. It's absolutely amazing. It's the best story in this space. The storytelling's amazing. And it's like, was it though? You know? I agree though, in regards to Zenless Zone Zero, right? I've been saying this a lot today, but I think it's a game that's so overhated and so underrated. Honestly, I do, because I think it just genuinely gets a bad name because it's Hoyle. Now, obviously, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's perfectly fine to have an opinion and be like, yeah, I'll just disagree, of course. But I genuinely think people really shun it for, and don't give it the time of the day sometimes, because I think Zenless does so many good things, especially in the story and the storytelling, more so in the storytelling, really. I think he's done it in such a good way. The vehicle in the way it's told. Again, I agree with what he says. I think the 3D cutscenes sometimes and the dialogue scenes are brilliant, animated spectacularly. And then you go into the more comic book style stuff as well. I love the comic book style stuff in Zenless Zone Zero. And obviously, Arknights, it's just it's an epic, right? It's a great epic. You know what I mean? But again, it's told through a visual novel style of storytelling, which is just not going to be for everybody. But yeah, man, guys, I'm going to link this video in the chat, actually. I think this dude's worth checking out. I like it. I'll pop that there. Check him out. Go subscribe. That was a good video, man. That was a good video. We got a few other things I wanted to look at, chat. I was going to check this out. I was going to look at the Arknights video, but I think I'm going to call it, boys and girls. It's Christmas Eve. I want to go and spend it with Rosie. I thank you for coming and sticking with me. Stopping by today. That's what I meant to say. Stopping by today. As I say, I want to watch this, but it's like 12 minutes. We'll watch this in the next stream. We'll stick it in my watch later. I'll probably be back Boxing Day now. Yeah. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to get locked in with the content now. Daily streams are going to start coming back. Regular, consistent videos as well. New year, we're locking in, boys. Arknights at Enfield, we're locking the fuck in. And obviously, any cool games that come up and interest us as well, we'll be talking about and playing those as well. Guys, thank you very much for stopping by. Have an amazing Christmas. All right. Whether it's already Christmas Day for you yet, I hope you're having an amazing one. And if not, guys, have a great day tomorrow. Whether you're spending it on your own, whether you're at work, whether you're just going to be gaming, or if you're spending it with loved ones, have a brilliant day. And here's to a good year of gacha gaming ahead, hopefully. Hopefully Hypergryph can come through. And we get a bunch of other good titles as well to play, man. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas Eve. Have an amazing Christmas Day. And I'll more than likely see you on Boxing Day now, which is the 26th for people outside of the UK. Because I think that is specifically a UK thing, right? Boxing Day. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. I'll see you all later. Ta-ra.